G'day folks, welcome back to another episode of Matty J Patty Live. My name is Matty J Patty, for those who don't know. I am a part-time streamer, full-time nerd from the great city of Bendigo in central Victoria. Now, welcome back to another episode of Matty J Patty Live. Today, we're going to do something completely, ridiculously nerdy as frick. That's right, just chatting. I'm literally going to sit here, have a chat, muck around, have fun, do the most nerdiest of nerdiest shit, and do it in front of all you people. That is the most nerdiest thing I've ever done. And I have no idea how it's going to turn out. I have no idea what we're going to talk about. Oh, yeah, I do actually. Sorry, I take that back. I have no idea what we're going to talk about if we don't talk about what I'm going to talk about. Otherwise, so I'm just going to bring my chat up. Otherwise, we are literally just going to have a chat. That is literally it. We're just going to hang out. I've got some old historical maps of my home, well, not actually my hometown, but it's my home country in Australia. We've got some maps of Sydney and Brisbane that I'm kind of keen to share with you folks. But having said that, I do want to put some ground rules in place first and foremost. So when we do have a bit of a chat, guys, just a heads up. Obviously, no fighting each other, no being rude, no being nasty, no doxing, and just no political comments, religious comments, social issues, all that kind of stuff. If we can keep that to the side, that would be great. We're literally just having a bar, having a yarn, just talk about whatever and whenever. Cackman, how are we? Are you having a... What is that? Is that sitting down, is he? He's just sitting down, having a seat. Well done. Well, thank you for that. Come take a seat. Yes, absolutely. Come take a seat and listen to Matty rant and rave about old historical stuff about Sydney and Brisbane. So for those who are wondering, I am a map nerd. It's no secret. I'm a map and history nerd. I love learning about roads. I love learning about history behind some of the changes in the roads and the railways that exist in Australia. And I want to share that with you guys. Sit, me, watch. You sit, you watch, done, and me present as best as I can. Having said that, Cackman, feel free to throw in whatever discussion you want me to talk about, by the way. More than happy to have a yarn about whatever. If you've got a game coming up that you want to play, or you've seen the movie recently and you want me to discuss it and throw my opinion in there. If you want to, even if you've got something that I have never heard about, like a game that you've played or a movie that you've seen, and you want to educate Matty on how it works and what the movie's all about and the series, you absolutely throw that in there, because otherwise you're literally going to have just me just chatting about roads and historical stuff, which I've got prepared, by the way. I do have a lot of stuff that I have prepared in terms of like just games, or not games, but like just stuff like maps and stuff that I want to share with everybody. But that's really just it. Really, it's really just we're having a chat, we're having a chill, we're just mucking around. It's so foreign to me because I'm so used to being very well prepared. We have a game, we have everything set, ready to go, and here we are. We're just chilling. We're just sitting around, relaxing, having fun, and it's just like, this is like my biggest fear. It's like, cool, we are going to just chat about stuff. So I'm going to see what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring up before I do bring up some historical maps, I do need to make this clear. If you find that some of the stuff is a little too close to home and it feels a little bit too doxy, let me know. I'll move aside and try and avoid it if I can, alright? The last thing I want to do is dox anybody or make anyone feel uncomfortable because I'm literally like showing images of like somewhere that's like their own property or whatever. Let me know, okay? That's important. Just send a whisper via Twitch or by whatever, by Kick or whatever, or just send me a message in the Discord, because otherwise, I don't want you to be feeling uncomfortable. That's the important thing. Also, Cackman, if you want to jump in, excuse me, if you want to jump in the Discord, by the way, and we can have a chat, we can chat as well. We were more than happy to do that as well. So that's another thing too. If you want to jump in the Discord, make sure that you are connected to the channel on Discord, and then send me a message. And what I'll do is I'll try and see if I can set it up. I probably don't know what I'm doing, by the way. I'm going to be brutally honest. I'm probably going to be stuffing it up. But, yeah, let's give that a go. Otherwise, without further ado, if no one else has got anything they want to have a chat about, otherwise, I'm going to show you some really, really interesting stuff. Well, I think it's very interesting. Okay, I think it's very interesting. You might sit there and go, oh my gosh, what the frick? And you'd be absolutely bored by it. And I'll be embarrassed, and I'll probably never do it again. But there's always a first for these things. We've always got to try these things once. So let's get into it. I'll just let's see if I can bring this up. Nah. Oh, good. All right, let's do this. Let's see if I can do this. Show us the goods, he says. All right. So I'll just quickly turn some of this on. All right. So first off, I'll just bring up the thing now. Yes, I did. Here we go. This is Sydney. Now, what I'm showing you here, this is actually, I found this from the New South Wales government website. The problem is, now here's my biggest beef, right? Is that trying to find footage of Victoria was like trying to find a needle in a haystack. There is no way you can actually find good historical imagery of Victoria without having to go through several different websites, and literally trying to mash them all together was just an absolute nightmare. So I am sticking with, I mentioned this before, I am going to stick with Sydney, I am going to stick with Brisbane, and the reason I'm doing that is because they're the only two states so far that I've found suitable historical imagery. And the reason I want to show this is because I want to go through some of the things that I've been... hang on, sorry. I know, worst timing to have a Just Chatting, right? Worst time to have a cough, I should say. So because you probably would have known that I've mentioned stuff about Wynyard tram tunnels, don't die on me. I know, I'm trying not to die. I'm like, this is what, we're up to week 4 of a cold, and I'm still like flu-y and stuff. Anyways, I mentioned, I don't know who I mentioned it to recently, but I mentioned it to a few people that when I come up to Sydney, one of the things I wanted to do was explore the Wynyard tram tunnels. Now, I'm going to show you what I'm talking about using this historical footage, right? So, stay with us. I'm not going to die, man. It's all good. Don't die. I'm not going to die just yet. No, look, okay. So, if you don't know much about Sydney, let me know. But basically, for those who don't know, Sydney is like the biggest city in Australia. Back many years ago, just when the Sydney Harbour Bridge, I'll give you a bit of context before I show you this thing. In 1932, the Sydney Harbour Bridge was built, right? So with that came 2 sets of railway lines. Those 2 railway lines were one of them was meant to go up to Hornsby, in the northern suburbs, and another one was meant to go up through to Manly, which never happened. And as a result, so I'll show you here, they have these 2 train lines here. So back in the day, you can probably see here, like this is a split-by-split image, by the way. So you've got, on the left here is, I think it's, what are we up to? 1955. So this is Sydney in 1955, and that's Sydney today on the right. I'll take that back. It's actually Sydney 6 years ago. It is a little bit outdated, and this is a little bit of an issue that I have with this website thing. But bear with me. It's messy. It's complicated. This is meant to be representing today, which is actually 6 years ago. You can tell it's 6 years ago because all of that is actually under construction in 2025. So just pretend it is, right? Just pretend that's what you're seeing. So you can see here, now this is North Sydney's train station, right? So back in 1955, this part here, you can actually see here, this was actually that was the tram. Pardon me, sorry, I nearly stuck myself up there. This part here, this is cool. It's not right, it's pretty cool, hey, isn't it? So this part here was actually a tram line that fed through the northern suburbs. You can actually see as you got. I mean, this is not the best quality image, of course, but it actually went up through. I can't remember if it went through here or if it went through the Pacific Highway, but you can sort of see there's a little bit of like tram line that went down here. But the funny part is when they built this, when they built the tram line, the train line on the side of the Sydney Harbour Bridge, they actually intended to have two train lines running side by side. What happened was because they didn't end up building the train line to Manly and to that or sort of northern beaches, what they did instead is they actually integrated the the tram lane into that. So you can see here in 2019, you can see there's only one tram line here, but you can see like a little stub. Now, if I bring this back here, it's a 1955. That was an actual bridge that actually carried tram traffic all the way to Milson's Point. I know this map is a little bit skewy, so you have to bear with me here. But you've got Milson's Point train station for the actual heavy trains, and then on the right here you've got light rail for the trams and that. So the trams would actually run to the right of the train. The right of the train. How did they get this imagery from that long ago? They got it. I think they got it just from like storing it because I know that they store footage in like archives. So from memory, I think that's what they do in Victoria as well. But again, it's a mess. What's happened with Victoria? We don't have the best footage. Now, look, you can see here. So this one here. So you can see the train. There's a train line here, but here is the bus line. Now, I think it was in the 50s and 60s, they converted this. You can actually see here when they built the Warringah Freeway, they actually converted this section here, or this part here, into express lanes that go from the freeway, and this goes down to Cahill Expressway. Now, I'll show you as I go down along here. So there's the train line. There's the actual proper train lines on the left. Those were the tram lines on the right. Now, those ones go down into what's known as Wynyard Station, which is down here, for anyone wondering. And what happened was, this is all tramline here. When they built the Cahill Expressway, which I'll show you, which is literally just this thing here, they actually covered up a lot of the abandoned tramline. So, which I find really fascinating. I mean, I don't know. I find this interesting. Like, this is something, for me, I'm like looking at this going, wow, this is actually really exciting. But, yeah, so there's a tram line. So the tram line goes through here. And what happened is back in the day, it would actually go underneath through all of this. It would come down through here. And it actually went all the way down to Wynyard. So, if you've seen Wynyard Station, I'll bring up Wynyard Station, actually. I'll quickly bring it up. Let's go, Wynyard train station. Now, have a look at this, right? There are six platforms. It says 4, but the platforms, here we go. Following the closure of the North Shore tram lines in 1958, the tracks were lifted from platforms 1 and 2. From platforms 1 and 2. Later, the platforms were walled off from 3 and 4, and part of that space was converted into an underground car park for the Menzies Hotel. Now, that Menzies Hotel was destroyed demolished in 2016. So you can see here, it's talking about how this is the tram tunnels that they're talking about. So, if I bring you back to that imagery, so back in the 50s, this is something fascinating, right? I'm impressed by this. So that train line actually is where was it again? It was over here. That's the tram line. That's the tunnel that they would have used. Now, it was converted to a car parking space up until about 2016, and then they sealed it all off altogether. When they demolished the Menzies Hotel, that was it. They basically sealed this off, and I believe they only open it during Vivid. So I just thought that was very fascinating how they did that. But yeah, so let's go back to here. So you can sort of see too. This is actually pretty impressive. This is Sydney. This is Sydney CBD, 1955. You can also see as well. They're actually here. They're building the They're building Circular Quay. That's what I'm looking for. Circular Quay train station as well. So back in the day, you can sort of see a little bit of how they're building it as well. They're actually digging it into this area here, which means they've had to, like, I don't know, like, they probably had to move some ground in order to make that work. But notice how this was actually still, actually this was built to accommodate the expressway. Now, fun fact, that little expressway here that you can see in the middle here, that was built in 1958. It is Australia's oldest freeway. Now, I wonder if I can bring that up. I'll see what I can do here. Let's see. So if we go to 1965, this is 10 years later, you can see Australia's first freeway that went from all the way down to here, basically, to Potts Point. Australia's first freeway, the Cahill Expressway. It is technically a freeway. It's not actually an expressway. It's just, it was done like that because of, back in the 50s, they implemented this thing of making expressways instead of freeways. The term freeway is actually an American, I believe, American term that they use, which means a free-flowing highway, basically. And so the term freeway wasn't quite as popular at the time when they built the Cahill Expressway. But having said that, now if we go back up to here, you can also see too, look, I'll bring back 1955 again. And I'll compare it to, can I compare it to 65? Here we go. So this is 1955. You had the tram tunnels that went through. You can even see a tram there too. Hello, tram. And then 1965, they built and because they built the Cahill Expressway, they had to basically, I guess, cover that up, basically. Because it was abandoned because the trams in Sydney were closed. I think they were closed. I'm going to quickly look this up. I'm pretty sure it was the tram network. Here we go. I'm pretty sure 1958, I believe. 1961. Okay, I was correct. 1961. Yeah, it was. There was a lot of them that were still around, but I think for the most part, it's around about 1958 we're going with. Okay, so hello. 1958. This was basically shut down. And so as a result, when they built the Cahill Expressway, they basically just built over the top of that. And I guess that's one of the things that they just did. What I might do, I'll even show you what happened. And I'll just make sure that it's not, yeah, here we go. It's not showing my thing. Okay, I'm gonna log out of here. I'm just gonna log out. Continue. There we go. I just don't want my stuff being shown on there. Okay. Just because I'm streaming at the moment, so I'm not sure. Did I answer your question? Didn't I? How they got the imagery from that long ago? They kept it in storage. So a lot of the stuff they did, they kept it in the archives. I'll actually look up if they've got a Sydney archives. Archives. Sydney archives. Here we go. So the City of Sydney have archives. They've got a histories and resources thing that they have that you can look up, and they've got all these special collections that they have of all the different places, maps, and whatnot. So that's where how we're using what technology. Oh, so a lot of the aerial imagery. This is all just what am I saying? Aerial imagery. So from what I understand and what I've researched, it's when they would often fly a plane through the city, and as they're flying the plane through the city, they would take pictures of the city as they go along. So you can sort of, I don't know if you can see. Yeah, you can. You can see. There you go. So it's like little stitched up pieces. So they'll take one picture, and then I'll take another picture, and then I'll take another picture, and then I'll take another picture. So you can sort of, can you see that line there? Like that line, sort of that goes like that, and it goes like that. So that represents one aerial footage. You can sort of see, if I bring it up a little bit closer, you can sort of see, there it is, one aerial footage at a time. So they've obviously, as the plane's gone past, you've gone, and then, and then, and so forth. So that makes, does that make sense? So that was 1955. So this is why I'm passionate. For those watching from Sydney, this is why I'm passionate about visiting the Wynyard tram tunnels. I'm actually surprised. Man, cameras and you'd be surprised. Like some of the stuff that I'm guessing this would have been like World War II reconnaissance kind of aircraft. I'm guessing like this, based on the fact that they went for the effort of actually building this. There's also something I want to show you too. Before the Sydney Opera House as well. This thing here. I think is it called the Darling? No, I have to check this up now. I'm pretty sure there was a tram. I'll look it up. Hang on, I'll tell you what it is. Fort Macquarie, that's it. Fort Macquarie Tram Depot. What am I doing? I can't even bring it up. So that there was Fort Macquarie Tram Depot. Do we have any images of Fort Macquarie Tram Depot? Tram Depot. There we go. So this bad boy here, I'll bring it up here. Here we go. Macquarie Fort Tram Depot. So this building here, actually I can bring it up in this one. This is a nice color picture too. I'll bring it up, open a new tab. That was terrible. I won't do that again. I'll bring it up. I'll bring this one up here. Let's just go like this. There you go. We're gonna have to look at it as a small picture, guys. So basically, you can actually see too, destruction of the Fort Macquarie Depot for the Sydney Opera House construction. So this is what they did to Fort Macquarie. Look how beautiful that fort was. This is 1950. This is before 1958, and they pulled it apart. Basically, they pulled it apart in order to make the Sydney Opera House. Now, if I go back to my historical imagery here, so you can see the aerial view of it. It looks like it looks weird. Like I don't know if you've seen many of the big pictures of it. It looks. I'll show you again. Like I'll bring it back again. It looks like it does. It almost looks like an asylum. It's like I think it was at one point a military fort. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look this up a little bit more and do a bit more research on it. But I wonder if there you go. Oh, you probably can't see it from there. Hang on. Yeah, it's an actual it's proper. It's a weird looking warehouse, isn't it? And that was the tram depot back in the day when Sydney had trams. So it looks great, isn't it? It's just so. Oh, sorry, hang on. I'm pushing buttons all over the place here. We're going back to here. So that's what that was. So in 1965, you can sort of see they pulled it all apart and they started building the Sydney Opera House. Now I find that was pretty fascinating that the Sydney Opera House was actually built over the top of an old tram depot, which actually looked really historical, which I'm actually surprised why they didn't keep the tram station, to be honest, because I would have thought that would be something important. Now, watch this, right? This is 1955. This here is the Pacific Highway. Now, that's the main highway that takes you all the way up to Sydney. So back in the day, this was all just like houses and stuff like that. Your main highway up to Newcastle, and that was through this little highway here. Actually, I'll bring up my little annotate. I'll show you what I mean. Hang on, let me just bring that up now. Can I do it? Interact. So I'll show you what I mean. I'll bring this around here. So, this is actually too big. Hang on, I'll have to get a smaller size. But if you can sort of see it, I'll bring it a little bit closer up. So there's your Pacific Highway up here. Up here, this was the main route that would take you all the way to Newcastle. It was like the very long, sort of windy road. Now, I'll delete that again. Delete that. Now, 10 years later, have a look at all these houses here. I'll bring it up closer. Have a look at these houses here. Boom. Completely wiped out to make way for the Warringah Freeway. How cool was that? Like, literally, that was... I don't mean to be insensitive to people who did live there and had to relocate. So, my apologies if that sounds insensitive, but I find it fascinating how they managed to just literally pull down a massive block of houses. Like, that was all people living in there too. Like, that's houses. That's like heaps of houses. And then suddenly just completely wiped out for this freeway. That's incredible. Like, that's a lot of effort to pull down all these freeways here and then convert them. Pull all these houses here and convert it into a freeway. That's cool. I mean, that's interesting, I should say. Now, the same here. There's some houses here in northern Sydney, and they've just gone whoosh, wiped them out for this new freeway that they built. I thought that was fascinating. I find that very interesting and very fascinating and exciting to look at. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. What else can I show you? I can also show you. Actually, I wonder if I can show you. I wonder if it is here. This is the southern part of the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Back in 1955, that literally fed into the city. So you literally had traffic that just went from the Sydney Harbour Bridge all the way through into the city that was fed all the way into these little side streets here. And then somehow had to go all the way in through George Street, that's George Street there, by the way, where my arrow is. And basically go all the way across like that. And that was Parramatta Road, which would take you down to Princess Highway. And that would take you down to Melbourne. So this was back in 1950. You can actually see too. This is, for anyone that's ever been to Sydney, they would have paid them good money to take that. Yes, I agree. And I think that's the thing too. They would have had to at least get good money. But then again, this was 1955. So maybe, I'm thinking maybe they just went, you know what? We're going to do some dodgy deals here. We're just going to wipe you out, and you're not going to be able to say anything because it's 1955. They wouldn't get away with this in 2025. That's for sure. This is not like that many houses being wiped out for a freeway in 2025. They would have to pay an arm and a leg for that. Like, that is a lot of money to especially North Sydney. North Sydney, as you know, yeah, even just Sydney in general is very expensive. It's a very expensive city. Some of the houses there can upwards of like $1 million, maybe even $2 million. I honestly reckon, yeah, as you're right, Cackman, I reckon they got rorted. I honestly believe they got rorted for that one, because there's no way that you would sell premium land like that for a cheap price. Now you can sort of see it's a little bit modified because they built this new extension to KL Expressway. They modified this a little bit. Now, if I bring you back to 1970, I think it was. Here we go. Yes, here we go. This is it. So, remember how I said that's the Cahill Expressway here? Now, this is where they started building the Western Distributor. Now, here's a fun fact that I actually didn't know about the Western Distributor. The Western Distributor was actually built in two segments. Now, I'll bring it back up here. I'll show you what happened with that new freeway. See how that's just been built like that? So they pulled down that bridge that I was talking about earlier, about the tram bridge. So they pulled that down and they made that into the KL Expressway. And there's your tolls right there. Basically built over on the top of the old tram line. Now, up here, they've built this massive freeway. And it's got interchangeable lanes on it. So you, I think from memory, it's 4 lanes north and 2 lanes south in the morning, and then in the afternoon, and 4 lanes south and 2 lanes north in the morning. So that was actually quite impressive. Like you see, there's the freeway. Excuse me. And as they've built this little extension that connects to, I think it's called Chandos Street. Hang on, let me just... No. Yes, there we go. So there's the Warringah Freeway. And as it goes along, it went up through to Chandos Street. And basically, the freeway was really just designed to take the traffic off the Pacific Highway going through North Sydney. That was the main aim of it, was basically to take the traffic off of the North Sydney out of North Sydney and redirect it to the suburbs. Now, there was a plan back in the 70s. Now, I might be treading on a bit of controversy here, so I will say this very carefully. There were plans to build this freeway. You can actually see some of the land that was reserved for this extension, but they were going to build a freeway that comes up. I'll show you. Hang on, let me get this mousing in. They were going to build it up through here, and I believe they were going to go up through here. Now I've got it. Okay, you know what? I'll just use my mouse to do this. This is a little bit complicated than I thought it would be. They were going to build a freeway that went up through here. It was going to cross that bit of bay there and come back up through here, and then come across to here and connect with Manly Road in up here near the Spit. Now, basically, the long and the short of it was there was a lot of controversy behind that. So basically, a lot of the residents, especially in Castle Crag, were like, no, we're not building a freeway here. Don't even think about building a freeway. And so the government, I think it was Neville Wran in 1978. I'm not going to, like I said, I don't want to talk politics. I don't want to get that involved. But he shelved a lot of the plans for freeways. So basically, there was a freeway that's why it's called the Warringah Freeway, because that freeway was meant to connect up to here, connect up to, actually, I'll bring up this one here. This might be a bit better. Connect up to where this part is here. And then it was going to connect all the way up to where, this is actually the suburb of Warringah. It was going to connect to Warringah at the time. But unfortunately, the government of the day, they decided, no, we're going to just shelve it. We're going to close it off. And that's why you only get this little bit of this little bit of freeway that connects to this little tiny road at the end of it, which is actually kind of weird. Like, you think about it, like all these freeways, you can actually see there's actually a double connection here. See how normally that's a one-way street, and normally that will come up like that, and that should come up like that, go down like this way southbound. But there's a reason for that, is because this here was actually going to be a interchangeable in this. Come on, white square. This middle lane here was actually interchangeable. So you could either go up this way and come up through here and then turn right, turn left like you would with the other one, or you could go down with the rest of the traffic and go down this way. So that I found fascinating. But yeah, so that was 1970 when they started building that. So this part here. So we'll bring it back down here. What have we got here? We've got the. Well, this is, yeah. Unfortunately, it's going to take a while to load. There we go. We could also see too. 1970 was the start of the Eastern Suburbs Railway Line too. So another story. So back in when they started building the train lines, before 1956, there were two tunnels that went through from Central, which was down here, into the city. So they went up to Wynyard, and those train lines went up to the northern suburbs. And then there was another train line that went underground up to, I believe, I think it's St. James, I think. I'll just quickly check that. Let me just double check this, folks. Yeah, St. James. Sorry, pardon me. It was St. James. I take that back. I don't know why I didn't get that right. So, basically, from St. James, they started building the train line. What they were going to do, originally, they were going to build the train from St. James and build to Killikee, bring it back around to Wynyard. But then from Wynyard, they were going to build a train line around sort of the northern part of the CBD, and then bring it back down through St. James, and then it's a complicated one. I'll show you what it is, actually. I'll show you. It was the... Where was it? It was the... City Circle? It was... I'll show you. It was... They've actually made a really good story about it on the Wikipedia page. It was the... Oh, I'm going to say... Look, I'll say City Circle. Bradfield. Was it Bradfield? Yeah, here we go. This is what I was talking about before. Sorry. Here we go. So they were going to build... So if I'll bring back that picture that I'll show you before. And... Let's see if I can do this side by side. I'm just going to quickly cover that up. And cover that up. And let's see if I can do this properly. Here we go. So this was the original scheme that that the developers were going to build at the time. They're called the Bradfield scheme after John Bradfield, one of the city's designers. Now, Town Hall was around here. Yeah, so Town Hall, the underground station, was here. What they were going to do was they were going to build a train line into Pitt Street, which is, I think it's here. Hang on. It's around here. And then they were going to go up to O'Connell Street, which is there, and then come around and then go to St. James, and then come around to Liverpool, and then come around to the eastern suburbs. I don't know exactly whereabouts that would have started and finished, but that's what the game plan was. Unfortunately, they changed that at the last minute. They decided, for whatever reason, they decided we're going to build it this way. It was like, from what I remember reading, it was like years of indecisiveness of where they're going to build the tram line. Didn't know where they were going to do it. If anyone from Sydney, by the way, can explain to me what actually happened and all the details, that'd be fantastic. Nah, good. All right. So they built this train line here. When they were building, when the government at the time was like cancelling all these projects, cancelling all these freeway projects and massive projects, they also cancelled a lot of the tram line too. Now, what happened was they cancelled the Eastern Suburbs Railway line up to, from Bondi Junction onwards. So you can see here, there's parts of the tram line too. You can actually see you can see actually, I'll bring this one up. This is probably better. There we go. You can see the difference too of where the road would have been. They also built this as a deviation because of the traffic at King's Cross, because of that complicated intersection too. They actually built a underpass to try and move the traffic from the eastern suburbs to the city. That's a little bit of a side on the side there, just for anyone that's interested. But yeah, so they actually built the tram line. They were going to actually build the tram line to Randwick and all the way down to was it Waverley? No, not Waverley. To Kingsford. That's right. And instead, the government decided, no, we're going to stop it at Bondi Junction. And so you can sort of almost see it a little. It's not quite clear, but there it is there, where they bulldoze all these houses here to make way for, which would have been the Bondi Junction train station. So they stopped at a Bondi Junction, and they left about, I think it's like about 50 meters or 100 meters of tunneling as like a stub to say, in the future, we will continue it on, we'll build it on later on. They never did. As of 2025, as of currently at the streaming, there are no plans to extend it. So they just left it at that. So that's the western suburb. That's the eastern suburbs train line. There was also, you can probably see it too. You can also see here, there's also a little road. I don't know if you can see it. I'll bring it up a little bit closer. Can you see that road there? That road there was originally going to be the Eastern Freeway. Now, that was another road that was shelved by the government at the time because they were against the idea of building a new freeway. So they already had built this freeway in advance. They already had this like ready to go. I think it was like, I'll bring it up. I'll see if it was 1975. Here we go. Well, this is not the best quality, but I'll show you what I mean. So by 1975, they started building this already, but by 1978, which I'll see if I can, I'll show you. No, it's not going to let me. No, it's not going to let me. So this is the problem with some of these aerial footages. They're not the best quality, and they don't have every single year. This is 1975. You can see all the houses are being demolished to make way for this freeway. Now, they were planning to, from what I'm read, I could be wrong on this. So again, if you're from Sydney, please tell me, correct me if I've got this wrong. They were going to extend it through, I think is this Moore Drive? Let me just quickly check. Yeah, here we go, Oxford Street. Yeah, Oxford Street. And they were going to bring it through Moore Park Road, that's it. Moore Park Road, and then they were going to build a freeway from here. They built the Eastern Distributor, but there was a plan to make this part here connect with Moore Park Road and make Moore Park Road a freeway standard road and demolish all these houses here, which are really like old story house, like old 2-story houses here. So I don't know how they would have pulled that off, because if I'll show you here, I'll show you what they would have done, what they were planning to do, and this is why there would have been a lot of kickback about it too. So I won't make a big deal. I won't try and show people's places or anything like that. But there's a lot of old historical houses all across here. I won't do that. I'll avoid doing that. Sorry, folks. If that was your place, I do apologize. I'm not gonna. I don't want to show people's houses. I'm just gonna. Oops, where am I going? I'm going up to here. So basically, they were gonna pull up all these houses here to make the Eastern Freeway. The rows of trees. That's the thing too. It was a very nice. It's a nice area too. Like, it's very wealthy. The houses there were dated back as far back as like the late 1800s. I think it was like the 1890s. So if you can imagine trying to pull that down to make a freeway would have been very controversial at the time. and it was very sort of frowned upon. And that also, just what I was noticing now, that's there's a Sydney cricket ground. That's what it looks like now. They've kept the original two buildings that were there back in the 1800s. So that's been there for a while. And there was your showgrounds. These were the showgrounds area. And they redeveloped that. In 1988, they actually made that into, I'll show you actually, in 1988. Was it 88? I'll just see if it was. There we go. No? There we go. 1988. That's when they built the Sydney Football Stadium. And then in 2020, they rebuilt it again. Because why not? Yeah? So I found that a little bit fascinating. Alright, so that was 1976. Or 1975, I should say. So if we fast forward now, so if we go back to here, here's where they started building. So this is what I was talking about before about the Western Distributor. The Western Distributor actually was built in two stages. The first stage was to feed the traffic out of the city and then feed it towards the side, sort of like the west side of the city. So that way all the traffic could feed around through these little side streets and then come back down onto Parramatta Road. So that way you didn't have to go through the city. It would only go from the Sydney Harbour Bridge and back down to the suburbs. So you can also see here too. I don't know if you've ever passed by this, but this bridge here, Pyramid Bridge, that little famous bridge that you see in Sydney, back I think as far back as 1980, up until about 1980, it was an actual proper road. Like that was the main thoroughfare to take you from the city to the working class western suburbs. You can sort of see some of the traffic too. They can sort of see some of the one-way streets and everything. And the tram line that you have now in Sydney, that was actually a freight line. So you can probably see some of the remnants of the old freight line too. You can see that's now a tram, light rail they call it, light rail. So you can see how it goes like that. So that I found very fascinating. It was actually, that's why they built the light rail in Sydney the way they did, was because it was actually taking advantage of the old freight line that used to be there. That freight line used to go all the way out into the suburbs and then would meet up onto the Bankstown line and basically carry the freight to the western suburbs from there. So you can see all this industrial. So this is actually really fascinating. This is the Western Distributor. So it actually stopped at what is now the old Pyramid Bridge. And it just fed traffic down to the western suburbs. The second part of the Western Distributor wasn't built until the 1980s. Now, I'll see if I can bring up 1980. Let's see if it, no, that's a 1982. Here we go. This is probably a better image of it. So this is why it looks a little bit weird. When you go on the Western Distributor, you'll find that the majority of the road as you go down, this is actually taking the traffic. You're going to show me? No? There we go. This is actually taking the traffic down to Harbour Street, which would then take you down to this street here, Pier Street, and it would feed you into these little side streets, which would then take you down to Parramatta Road. The second part of this of the Western Distributor actually fed traffic from the city, from King Street and Barker Street, all the way into the western suburbs. So it was it's sort of like a double freeway almost. It was like two freeways in one. Yeah, the north part of the Western Distributor took traffic from the Sydney Harbour Bridge away from the city towards the inner western suburbs streets, whereas the second part of it that went through Darling Harbour was actually taking traffic from the city. So you had one that was going from Sydney Harbour Bridge that was taking you away from the city down to the inner western suburbs, and then you had the traffic that was coming from the city out into the suburbs like Glebe and Balmain, Glebe and I've forgotten the name of this place now. Five Dock. So Glebe and Five Dock was basically where this was coming from, and you can sort of see it too. There's little parts of it where they were they built this halfway thing. Now the reason they did that was when they started building this. This is why in 1980, the the Paramount Bridge Road, the Paramount Bridge, I should say, was actually blocked off. So you could no longer go directly from the city to Paramount, or to Glebe via that bridge. So you actually had to go through this road, which I found very fascinating because it's like you've literally cut off an important piece of road architecture to make that happen. But at the same time, this was also a very heavy industrial area, so that would have needed to close and open that bridge several times. So there was that reason of just basically they would have had to cut that off, cut it off, cut it off, cut it on, cut it off, cut it on, cut it off. And so I guess that probably explains why they built this, the Western Distributor. Basically, now if we look at this map here, you can also see the development of it too. You're going to see how it snakes around like that. And here we come across one of my favorite parts too. I find this actually really exciting. This is another interesting bridge too. Glebe Island Bridge. I don't know why it's called an island, but bear with me. Glebe Island Bridge was basically another turntable bridge, or a turnstile bridge. So you'd have traffic, and then like say a couple of times during the day, they would open it up to allow big massive ships come through. You can actually see there's a lot of like there you go. There was all shipping containers here. This was all a big shipping area, and that's why they needed to open that bridge, and that was why they needed to open the to build the distributor so they could build another bridge that fed into the western suburbs, which I find really fascinating. Okay, so that's another fascinating thing that I found really interesting. What I also find fascinating is that this is what we're up to, 1982. Now, 1982, there were only 3 motorways. There were only 3 freeways, I should say. Would like to do some. So that's the thing. I would love to do this too. This is why I love coming up to Sydney, because there's so much rich history behind it. Because there's so much things that that we sort of take for granted. But back in the day, that was part of what made the city what it is. Like that. Like for example, like here, like this is South Dowling Drive, right? Back in 1982, it was just a highway. It was just a major, not highway, a major arterial road. It wasn't until the early 2000s that they actually turned this arterial road into a major freeway. So they built the Eastern Distributor from that, which I find really fascinating. So in 1985, I posted this on my Discord as well, by the way. That's just for anyone that's interested. There were only 4 major freeways, and I'll show you what it was. One was the Warringah Freeway. So at the time, it actually stopped at, as I showed you before, it stopped at Chandos Street. Warringah Freeway, it was the Western Distributor, and there was another freeway. Yes, where was it? It was over here. The Western Freeway, over here. Let's see if I can bring up the map here. No? It will not let me. Why won't you let me? Okay, no. Hang on, how much map can I show? Okay. Okay, that's fascinating. Alright. I will, before we go into 1980, before I go even further into that, I'll show you another thing that I find fascinating too. If it lets me. I'll bring it back to, I'm going to squeeze it back to 1976. Will that let me do it? No? Okay. No, I don't think it will let me. Nah, it won't let me. I'm going to have to go back to, here we go, 1975. Now, we all know about the Mooney Mooney Highway, Mooney Mooney Bridge, yeah? So, the Mooney Mooney Bridge, basically a big giant bridge. I'll show you what the Mooney Mooney Bridge looks like. I'll show you, actually. Mooney Bridge. Mooney. Sorry, I can't spell, apparently. So this big, giant freeway bridge here, back in the day, hang on. That thing there, that big, giant freeway, that thing is the platform, the base of the freeway, is actually taller than the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Now, back in the day, you can see how big it is, because the reason why they did that is because the mountain range of the Central Coast was built in, was basically so hilly that you couldn't really you had to literally cut through. You can see some of the range, some of the hill that they had to cut through to make the road happen. Now, I'll bring you back to where was it, over here? This one, no, here. So back in the day, they actually built this little spur route here that was going to actually traverse the Mooney Creek in a different way, in a shallower section, so that way they wouldn't have to build a big massive bridge to try and cut costs. But eventually they upped and and wondered about it and thought about it so many times that they decided back in 1986 to actually abandon that route and go ahead with the big freeway this way. Now, funny thing is, right, you've got see that little squiggly road there? That's the Pacific Highway, right? And here's the extension of the Pacific Motorway up to Pete's Ridge Road. The funny part is, this Pete's Ridge Road was actually used as the freeway, as Pacific Highway or State Route 1, all the way up till about, basically up through here, and all the way up to, I think it's called, what's the name of the suburb? I've got to look up the suburb name, sorry. I've got to try and remember some of the suburb names. I used to remember them off the top of my head, but now I've forgotten. Carryong. So basically, Carryong. Hang on. There we go. Is it Carryong? No, it's not Carryong. Pardon me. It's Ourimbah. Sorry, pardon me. I keep forgetting these names. Okay. So there you can see, there's the Pacific Highway. So the Pacific Highway here in Ourimbah actually goes this way. But this was actually known as Pete's Ridge Road, which was designated as Pacific Highway. Not Pacific Highway, State Route 1. The engineering, let me show you. I'll see if I can bring up some images of Sydney Harbour Bridge, Sydney Harbour, what am I saying? Sydney Newcastle Highway. Newcastle Freeway. Construction. I'll show you what they did. There was a lot of engineering. Watch this. Here we go. I won't bore you with it. There's an actual video on YouTube, like a 22-minute video on YouTube about how they built it, but that's crazy. Like, can you imagine, that's a big, massive mountainside, and they've just gone demolished all of that to make a freeway through there. I thought that was just incredible. Like, the amount of engineering needed to do. Like, you see even here, that would have been a big mountainside back in the day before this before this freeway was built. They would have had to literally slice through that mountain range just to make that freeway. That's an impressive feat of engineering. Like, that's nothing to scoff about, because that's a lot of engineering just to get that freeway started, and especially the amount of mountainous area. Like, I'll bring it back to where that is too. Like, that's mountainous area too. All this here from the northern suburbs of Sydney all the way up through here, that's all basically mountainous areas. I can actually, let me see if I can show you what I mean. Like, that's probably a terrible example. Let me see if I can bring you a good example. Here we go. Look at that. This is from January this year. Look at all the rock, that's hard rock too. That's a lot of demolition, a lot of engineering would have been needed to make that happen. And it's both sides too. Like, they literally carve the road out of the mountainside. That is impressive. That I found really, really interesting. I don't know. I found that very fascinating. But what they did was, originally, I'll go back to that historical map again. Basically, they were going to build this little small route. You can probably see it in this one too. See how they've built it like that? They've got the main freeway was going to come out through here, and they just stopped it there. The reason why they did that was because they were going to build this little extension through the highway, and then bring it out through here. But I believe it was like they had it. I'll actually look it up. I'll actually find out why that was the case. Mooney Bridge. Mooney Bridge. Yeah, here we go. Because this will give good information about it. It wasn't until... So, planning for a new high-speed freeway traffic link between Moonga and Beresfield, which is like sort of the northern suburbs, 1952. It wasn't until 1963 when the construction of the first Pacific Freeway started. So Mount Whitewood, and so they built. Also, what they were doing was they were building parts of the freeway. I'll bring it over here. So they're building all up here. They started building up here. They started building up here as well. But then they got to a point where they built all that, but then they built up to here and went, okay, there's no connection here. So they had this Pete's Ridge Road as a bypass for the traffic in that meantime. So it wasn't until 1986 that they built that. So they're just saying here, from Somersby to Ourimbah, which is sort of Central Coast area, they built all these freeways up until about 1983. They had all these freeways, and they were like, okay, cool. And then they had this big freeway up till about Mooney Creek, and they were like, okay, well, what do we do? But they didn't actually have a design for it and it wasn't until 1986 that they built this big giant bridge. But it doesn't say why that was the case, why they changed it. I'll just have a look now. Brooklyn Bridge, that's cool. Yeah, it doesn't say anything else. I wonder if it says anything about Pete's Ridge Road. Now, road. No, it doesn't. Okay. What I'll do is I'll go back to here. Hey, Beamy. Mini Bridge. No, hang on. Bear with me, folks. Now, there's a great article about this that explains a lot of it. Expressway. I'll just look up Expressway. Expressway. Yeah, where was it? It was a good... Here we go. Expressway.net. Oh, no, it's going to give me... No, that's not... There we go. Oh, there you go. We've got a little bit of history in the making here. This is the official Department of Main Roads information about the Mooney Bridge. Now, there it goes. December 14, 1986. They built that bridge. Now, before that, though, they had to use Pete's Ridge Road as the freeway, as the main connection. So, I wonder if it says anything about why they did that. Lincoln, 1988, that's fine. Oh, here we go. Now, this is what I was talking about before. The freeway. So that bridge, Mooney Bridge, see how this is the Mooney Bridge in comparison to the Sydney Harbour Bridge. Now, the Mooney Bridge is actually higher up from the base or the ground, higher than the Sydney Harbour Bridge, which I find really fascinating. But I digress. Expressway. I think it was Expressway Online. I'm going to look for it. Hang on. I'll just quickly. I'll go look for it now. Sorry. I'll just Expressway Online. No, it would have been F3. Here we go. Hang on. I'll bring it up now. Give me time. Here we go. Nope. I did that wrong. I've got the wrong one. I was going to show this a little bit later, but anyway. No, it was... Oh, come on, Matty. Wait. I swear I saw it. Hang on. Hang on. 2 seconds. I'm going to try and find it. There's an online article that explains it. Is this the one? Yeah, this is it. Okay. So this is it here. Expressway.net.au. Highly recommended if you're interested in learning about these things. Let's see if it lets me do it. Yeah, we go. Expressway.net.au. So if you're interested in learning about some of the history of the highways and the freeways and that exist in Australia, I do recommend looking at this because this will give you some updates onto how roads happened and all that kind of stuff. There's another one too. I will try and find it. Freeway history, New South Wales. There's another one I was going to show you. Oz Roads. This is another one too. Here we go. Whoa, that's a lot of writing. That's not what I was going to look for. Don't look at that. That's a lot of writing. Here we go. For those in New South Wales, if you're interested, there's also this as well. This gives a lot of information about the history of the roads and the freeways and how they came about. And you can also see too, like there's a lot of information about the freeways, expressways, the West Link. This is before they built the Western Sydney Airport. So this is, I think this would have been, I think it's the, oh yeah, okay. And they don't have, okay, so this is a little bit old, outdated. So this is a little bit iffy. So it's probably a little bit, maybe 10 years old, maybe 15 years old. But it's got some good information about, if you want to learn more about the freeways and that, in not just New South Wales, but also in Queensland and Victoria as well. And also South Australia if you're interested. So moving along. So back in 1985, now if I go back to 1980, can I go back to 82? Let's see if that lets me, is that the one that's dodgy? It's dodgy, okay. Maybe we'll try 83. 84? 85. Yeah, 84? Yeah, no, I have to try 1986. Alright. Alright, so this is where my previous comment, my previous fun fact came about. So in 1986, there were only 4 main freeways. So I'll bring them up here. So you've got the Warringah Freeway, which went, so you can actually see this one actually extended. So remember how I showed you last time and it went to Chandos Street, which is this one here. So back in 1985, they extended that all the way, actually it would have been 1984, pardon me. They extended it up to Willoughby Road. And so you can sort of see they've actually added more freeway as they went along. But yeah, Warringah Freeway. So Gore Hill Freeway, which is this one here. Gore Hill Freeway didn't actually exist in 1985. You had Gore Hill, you had Warringah Freeway, you had the Western Distributor, which was built in stages. So you can see, now you can see, especially now, they've actually started pulling apart all the old industrial wharfs and everything. And now they're starting to make it into what the nice fancy Darling Harbour looks like now. So you had Warringah Freeway, Western Distributor, you had the Cahill Expressway, and then you also had, now, you didn't have, I know everyone's probably going to say, what about General Holmes Drive, which is this right here, but it's not quite freeway standard. So I'm not gonna count that, but I will say, there was a 4th one. The 4th one was over here. Now that was the Western. Where's the Western? Oh my gosh, I can't even. I'm getting myself disoriented already. Western Freeway, which was over here. Now this is another thing. This is now going to bring me to where I want to show you. Or this is something that I want to show you too. It's really sort of fascinating. So there's Parramatta Road. You've got your Western Freeway here. That was the 4th road. The 4th freeway was Western Freeway. I believe it was in the 80s that they started building the tolls. Where's the tolls? Hang on, there's a toll booth here somewhere. It would have been, oh, I can't remember now. Yeah, here it would have been around here. You probably can't see it, yeah. So they actually built it as a freeway back in the day. And then for some reason, when they extended it, when they built the two ends together, they actually tolled it, which was weird. Like I'm just like, why would you toll a freeway for? But anyway, so that was the four main freeways that were in Sydney back in the day. And even then, you can sort of see, you can actually see, even nowadays, you can actually see remnants of where the freeway once lay. You can actually see, what's the word again? Coleman Street. So you can see the Western Motorway, or Western Freeway. It comes in like that. they still kept this route, this little off ramp from the Great Western Highway onto the Western Motorway, and then they got this little one here, a little bit of stretch. So anyone that's lived in Sydney and wondered why there's this weird abandoned road here, that's because that's where the Western Motorway ended, the Western Freeway, I should say, ended, and it wasn't until I think it was not until 1989. So this is 1986. It wasn't until I think it was 89 or 1990 that they started building the extension. And this is the other part of the Western Freeway too. So there's actually two parts of this Western Freeway. So there's Great Western Highway, and then as it goes down, you can actually see. Even now, you can actually see when you go to the petrol station here down in the western suburbs here. I think it's what's it called again? I'll look it up. I'll look up the western suburbs. It's near Huntingwood. Near the Sydney. What's this thing called? Eastern Creek Motorway. What's it called? Eastern Creek motor racing track, which doesn't actually exist. Which didn't actually exist until the 1990s. There you go. Fun fact. You can actually see parts of the freeway. So the Western Freeway didn't actually. The whole from Sydney to the Blue Mountains, didn't actually complete. Wasn't actually completed until the 90s. So up until then, you went from Penrith, well, from Emu Plains, which is sort of west of Penrith, all the way down to, which is essentially Eastern Creek. Eastern Creek's in there. So up to Eastern Creek, and it was just a highway. Well, they call it an expressway. It was like a highway, but then you had this weird sort of intersection here, which was like a freeway, and then for some reason, and then the freeway just came back again, which I find very fascinating because it's like, why didn't they just finish off the freeway in the first place? Other than that, there were no other freeways in metropolitan Sydney. There were freeways outside of Sydney. I don't know if I can show it. I'll bring back to 1982 again. If it lets me. No? Maybe 84. I think it's 84. Oh, maybe 83. Hang on. I don't think it is. No, it's not going to let me. No. Why you do this for me? Okay, hang on. How do we go? So 1975. So you can actually see there were some freeways that were built outside of Sydney back in the 70s. But they were, from what I understand, they were built to link Sydney to the major cities through what was then known as just like regional or just countryside. So it wasn't there was nothing stopping it from being a freeway. Basically, you can actually see too. This is actually really fascinating. I find this one. This one was also a toll road too. I'll show you where the toll road came about as well. There was like back in the day when they built this freeway, they actually were planning to build the freeway all the way up to Sydney, up to the Sydney airport, but they never actually built it. They actually finished it up to here. They actually left it up to here. You can actually see in 2019. This is 2019, but it's still relevant to 2025. There's nothing. There's like it just goes back to highway again, and you're not even in Sydney yet. And I'll show you as well that little extension. So you see that little line of like trees and greenery? That there was where the freeway was going to go through. It's going to go up through Rocky Point Road, Tarrant Point Road, and you can also see too. So this is where they started building the freeway. They got the freeway ready to go. And basically, and this is 1975, by the way. So again, another freeway that was shelved by the government at the time. You can also see they just built the extension, which was like I think this is Sutherland. Yeah, this is Sutherland. So they built the Sutherland bypass as well back in the day. But it wasn't until the 70s that they actually started building freeways to bypass or basically get around or to basically link the major cities to Sydney. So I thought that was really fascinating. I'll bring it back to 1986 again. Now there's a particular thing I want to show you. So if you ever get to a trivia question and they ask you in 1985 how many freeways were there built in Sydney? I mean, they never will. This is like, now I'm just like over nerding this for the sake of over nerding this. But if they ever asked you, you can say that there were 4 freeways: the Western Distributor, Western Freeway, Cahill Expressway, and the Warringah Freeway. Nothing else was built in metropolitan Sydney back in 1985 other than those 4 freeways. I'll show you something which is also kind of fascinating too. Hume Highway. Now, loved road that takes us from Melbourne to Sydney. Back in the day, now, you're probably wondering why this looks a little bit weird. I'll show you. I'll bring this back here. This is what it looks like now, right? So you got this weird sort of intersection. There's no outbound. Was it outbound? No. Off ramp. Sorry, no off ramp from Camden Valley, or on ramp, I should say, on ramp from Camden Valley Way onto the motorway. You have to go down to Campbelltown Road to do it. Now, the reason why that is, if I bring this back up here, that was the way in which back then it was known as the F5 freeway, later known as the Hume Motorway. It actually connects around like that, and you can actually see it too. I'll bring it in closer. You can actually see when you have a look at the current road, you can actually see parts of where the old road used to be. That I found fascinating. I was like, that is so cool. When I came up to Sydney earlier last year, I actually went up to Casula to come up here and have a look at this, and it's actually quite fascinating. What I'll do is I'll show you what I'm talking about here. I'll bring it up to here. It's over here. This little bit of road here, near Maple Road. Here we go. That I found fascinating. This is what, from 2007. It's not a very nice setup, I don't have to admit. It could be better, actually. I'll see if I can try and get the footage up here. Here we go. This is April 2025. This is like only 3 months ago. There's the road. See where the truck is there? That was where the Hume Highway, or the little M5 three-way, actually came across and went into there. Now, the reason why it's like that, it's this one here, is actually back in the day, that left lane, left side lane, that was the only lane that was there. So you actually had traffic coming up through here. There was only one bridge, so this second bridge here didn't exist. And you literally just went up through here and up like that. And that was that took you from the Hume Highway from the M5 freeway up to Hume Highway. So there's the M5 freeway there. So like I was saying before, there were a lot of these intercity freeways, but there wasn't actually any built into the city. Like the Southwestern Motorway here, for example, the M5 wasn't built until 1991. Now before that though, there was a little connection here. Now this is another thing I find fascinating. Here's a little connection. Hang on, when it loads. Back in the 80s, they built this little spur. So it came off from Hume Highway, and then it connected all the way to, there's Moorebank Road, and it connected all the way up to Heathcote Road, which I found really fascinating. I thought it was a bit strange that they just suddenly had built this little connection here. But that was the forefront of the Southwest, or the M5 motorway, which you can actually see too. There's actually a little corridor where they were planning to build it for, they had this cordoned off for many years, but they never actually built it until, I think it was the 1990s they started building Gore Hill. 1992 is when they started building Gore Hill Freeway, and they started extending the M5 outwards. Up until then, it was a policy of the government at the time where they would build no more. There was no freeways that were going to be built. It was just build. They'll build outside of Sydney, but nothing inside of Sydney. It was all public transport. It was minimal amount of projects, and basically you can also see here too. They only just started building that as an extension towards, and that was just so they could get traffic from the things. Oh, hello, Elizabeth. I see. Thank you so much for the follow. We are nerding it out, by the way, Elizabeth. Welcome on board. We're just having a chat. We're just literally chatting. Just having a nerding session about the history of freeways and roads in Sydney. once I finish here, I'll show you Brisbane as well. But for now, we're sticking with Sydney for now. Just as I was saying before, we don't have any footage of Melbourne and Victoria just because it's a nightmare trying to get that footage. So whereas here it's very easy to get the footage. Before I take you to Brisbane, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you something pretty impressive. This is Sydney Airport. This is Mascot Airport, right? So back in the day, you can actually see. I'll bring this up as well. There's the second runway. Back in the day, it was just literally an empty. This wasn't even built until I think it was like 94 or 92, I believe. Hang on, let me have a look. No, hang on, it's not going to let me. Yeah, no, it wasn't even built until I think it was 94. Let me have a look at 94. Yeah, there you go. This wasn't even built until 1994. How cool is that? That's impressive. So back in the day, that extension there, even there, even you can actually see it too. It says cross. It's basically that was just barely built back in the day. You can also see as I pull that away, that's actually more of the land that's being acquired for industrial area too. Love that. Now let's go back to 1976. Let's see if we can do that. No, 78. No, 79. No, 1980. 82. Yeah, here we go. 1982. That was when they had just the two runways. But let's go even further than that. Let's go back to 1975. They just built that. Okay. Let's see if we can go back further. 72. 71. 1970. Alright, so 1966 now. 65. Here we go. 1955. Yeah, I had to go back as far as 1955, unfortunately. Alright, so you can see here. How cool is that? That was the main road that's the main runway that they built. And you can see this tiny little runway on the side here back in 55. That's impressive. And you can see the original shape of the harbour there. Okay, get out of there. Look how big it was back then. Look how nicely curved it was back then. You had this like rivers that used to flow through. You had the canal, the Alexandra Canal, which connected to I think it was from an underground sewage system. I'm not sure. I don't actually know the full facts on that one, but look at all the connections that it had. These were all connected all the way to to this river here. That's fascinating. And you can see here, there's the original river flow, and they've just gone cut it so they could build the extension of the runway. That is impressive. So all of that was land that was reclaimed by the engineers to reclaimed for the airport. That's fascinating. I thought that was interesting. Now, another thing I want to show you too before we go up to Brisbane, is the Sydney Olympic Park. Now, this is what it looks like. But this is 1955. This is Sydney Olympic Park. You've got the brickworks here. You've got a major industrial area here. You've got a lot of farming. I think it's farming. I'm not sure if it's farming or agricultural sort of like industrial area there. And then you've got a little bit of military barracks there. But most of it though, it's all like swampland. Like outside of this little industrial area, that's all swampland. If you go back to that, if I put that back up to here, that's it. That's Sydney Olympic Park. Back in the day, that was just empty marshland. That is fascinating. So there you go. And that little brick park there it's actually gotten bigger. It obviously got bigger back in the day. And yeah, that is Sydney Olympic Park. I wonder if, there you go. And wonder if you can see, here we go. So I wonder, they didn't keep any of the original, they kept one. They kept one original rail bridge. And they kept it as a walking bridge I think it's a walking bridge, or is it just? It looks like it's just a remnant. They've just kept a remnant there and just left it like that. That's actually really cool. So there you go. So that's. I wonder if that might be actually that might. I kind of doubt it. Yeah, no, I doubt it because that's not. Nah, that's unless that's to there. Ooh, that might be no. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not. It's not relevant to the current day. But there is some sort of connection there. You can still see some of the connections, but it looks like they've just cut it, and they've just built a brand new one for the Sydney Olympic Park. I'll see if I can bring up 1975. See if that in the 70s. See if that does anything. Here we go. 1971. Still the same Sydney Harbour. Sydney Olympic Park. But now it's an actual proper industrial area. And you can see too, the brickworks is even bigger. And it's actually at the size, well, it's a little bit smaller than what it is now, but that's the extent to which they built the brickworks and that. So you can actually see a lot of the Sydney Olympic Park, a lot of the area that was used for the Olympic Park was actually really strong industrial area back in the day. Like even Home Bush Bay Drive didn't even exist back in the day. It was literally just, you can actually see too. Look, watch this. I'll just show you. Yep. No, maybe not. No, there it is. There it is. There it is. This Concord Road, and it just went straight through across there. There's that little bridge that they got rid of to make it work, and they just went straight through here, and all of that was just industrial. I won't say wasteland. It's not industrial wasteland. It was industrial area, but most of it was indeed swampland. It wasn't until, let me see if I can get up 80s. Let's see, what's the 80s like? There we go. So, still the same. In fact, some of it was actually put. There we go. Home Bush Bay Drive. You can actually see where they were starting to build. So the thing is to mention as well, when they were building freeways in Sydney, they didn't go for building freeways. They turned major arterial roads into semi-freeways, for lack of a better term. So, for example, here in Lidcombe. Now, fun fact, I actually lived in Lidcombe for a couple of months when I was on placement for orthotics back in the day. Let me go back I'll bring it back to 75. Here we go. Oh, can I get the footage? No, I can't get the footage up there. But you can actually sort of see too. It actually went up like that. And, hang on, maybe I'll get 72. Hang on, let me show you if I can pull up 72 or 74. There we go, 1971. You can sort of see it just went straight in and like that. I'm going up 86. Here we go. And in 86, they started building the arterial road. You can sort of see, hang on, I'll bring this up like this. And you can sort of see all these little sort of minor arterial roads were converted into these big, giant 6-lane highways. They come through here. And then, actually, that's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, sorry, I didn't actually see this until now. So this lane, this road here was actually. Let me just pull this off. Let me take this off. Yeah, here we go. Rawson Street, Berea Street, and St Heliers Road. So that wasn't actually part of the extension. Oh, there you go. There you go. I learned something new. There you go. Ha. So yeah. So all these roads like the A3 and the A6. That's the A3, and that's the A6 over here. You can actually see this is 1971. I'll go back to 1986 again. So we're going back around, and this is where they started building major arterial roads. You can actually see some of the arterial roads. You can see some of the houses that were pulled apart to make way for these arterial roads, to make them like proper, massive, like almost like freeway roads almost. So here we go. Even this one here, the A6. So is this the A6? Okay, that's the A6. Sorry, and this is the A3. Yeah, let me just double check. I've got to orientate myself. I'll bring up the Nope, hello. That's not what I want. Is that A3? Yeah, A6 is on the left and A3 is on the right. Okay. There we go. So, that's your A3 and there's your A6. So you can see here, even in 1986, they didn't have it all built out. You can see where they were going to build the major road. So that road actually came up from here. Rookwood Road, and the Stacey Street was actually over here. So that's fascinating because that's A3 and A5 were the major, like two of the biggest major thoroughfares in Western Sydney. So that's actually quite interesting that they've done it like that. I actually didn't quite pick that up until now. What else can I show you before we go up to Sydney? Before we go up to Brisbane? That's pretty much it. It's just other like little extensions to roads and stuff that they've done. Oh, and another thing too. 1986. East Hills. Before 1988, it was 88 or 87. That was the end. That was the East Hills railway line. It didn't go up to Liverpool until 1988. So, fun fact. There you go. And you can see there's Holsbury, the military base there. And it's just basically freeway. As basically the train line didn't actually exist all the way to Liverpool. Oh, is it Liverpool? Oh no, it's not to Liverpool. Sorry, it was to. What is that street? Is that Liverpool? There's Liverpool. No, it didn't extend to Campbelltown, I should say, not Liverpool, until 1988. So there you go. Fun fact on that one. So that was Sydney. Yeah, if anyone's interested, otherwise we'll just push on and we'll move to Queensland. So the next one is up in Queensland. Actually, let's see if I can get some footage of here. Let's see if I can get some footage of here. There we go, 1984. Back in the day. Let's move forward. They're going up to Newcastle now. And there you go. See that freeway? Little bit of like freeway road there at Hexham. So that was 1984 when they built up. Before that, it was a 2-lane, raised bridge. That's cool. There you go. And that's all being divided. That's all being bypassed. And there you go. There's the original. So there's the original road. So you would have gone through there. You didn't go through Pacific Highway. So the Pacific Highway didn't bypass Raymond. Is it Raymond Terrace? Yeah, Raymond Terrace, the suburb, until 1993. All right. So let's go up to the border. See if there's anything at the border here. Will it let me see anything at the border? Because the reason I want to show the border is because this is actually something that I find fascinating. Will it let me? It's not going to let me. No, I think it's saying no. We're not gonna. Surely gonna let me. Surely, come on. No, it's not gonna let me. It's decided. No, we are outside of the parameters of Sydney. It's not gonna do it. Okay, all right, there you go. It's not gonna let me. Wow. Okay. All right. 1947, 44, 43. No. Okay. Jeez. Tough guy, eh? All right. Let's see. No. Oh, you know what I can do? I'll show you what I can do. Actually, I'll go up to here. Turn them off. Turn all layers off. Historical index. This is another thing you can do too if you find that you're struggling to find good maps of the area. Click on here. What's that? 1972. Let's see if we can get a better one. 1972, 71, 1997. So I would have been a little kid. Actually, no, I won't give you that one. I'll give you 1972. Let's see if I can give you that one. 1971. Let's try this one. This one is fascinating because back in the day, that little road there, little high bridge there, that was the original road, the Pacific Highway, which took you up to the border here. So back in the day, you didn't have. I'll show you. I'll show you as well. This is another fascinating thing I found as well. Let's go up here. So, see that little bypass here that went through up that way So actually, 1985, this little bypass here was built to bypass Tweed Heads and Coolangatta. Back before then, is it this one? Where did I put it? Oh, here we go. So before then, you would have gone. Oops. I'm getting confused myself. Here we go. So it would have been up around here. So let's see. Okay, so it would have been all the way down here. You would have had the freeway that come out. In 1985, the freeway came out through about here. Went up through there, I believe. Yes. It came up through up through here. Went up through here and went... Actually, yeah, here we go. So it went up through here. Let me just double check. Yeah, it went up through here. It would have gone up through there. And it went all the way up to here. And you can actually see too. So it actually would have gone through here. So I'll show you what that is. Oops, hang on. I'll show you where that is here. That's this part here. So what you're seeing here, that was this part here. And there's your race course. There's your race course right there. So that you would have gone. The freeway would have gone up through. The freeway went up through here, and like that. That was 1985 when that happened. So before that, that's the Pacific Highway there, and there's the Gold Coast Airport, which is not much back in the day. This was like very primitive. This is like 1970s. Very primitive compared to today. But yeah, it was basically you went through here, all the way through here. There's your Pacific Highway up through there. Went up through here, and the funny part is this is actually a mountain here. So what happened was the freeway, your Pacific Highway went up back through up these roads here, and did a little bit of a weird turn up here before going into Coolangatta. So there's Coolangatta, and then as it got to the border, there's the border here, that little bunch of trees here, and then it did a sharp right turn, and it took you to New South Wales from there. I thought that was fascinating back in the day. So that's there now. Let's have a look at what that's like in 1997. So in fact, it wasn't until the 2000s that became an actual. Yeah, there we go. It wasn't until the 2000s that actually became a roundabout. So that before then, it was. Actually, see if I can zoom in. This will probably give really crappy quality imaging, but let's have a look. Let's have a look. Here we go. So yeah, so there's your sharp turn right, and there's your Twin Towns Resort, I should say. And so back in the day, you literally would turn, and then there's your border there. So your intersection was the border between Queensland and New South Wales. If I bring that now, what I'll show you, that's what I'm talking about now. That roundabout there. So that would have been early 2000s. You can see the Queensland border too. Queensland, New South Wales border. The best part, I will say this though. The best part about the Queensland, New South Wales border, about Coolangatta and Tweed Heads, is that here's a nice little beachfront, right? Because Queensland and New South Wales have different time zones during daylight savings. So New South Wales is an hour ahead during daylight savings as opposed to Queensland, which doesn't celebrate daylight savings. So what happens was, what I used to do when I used to live up in Queensland, I used to go down to Tweed Heads, go down to the Tweed Heads beach here for New Year's Eve, celebrate New Year's Day on the New South Wales border, and then what I used to do with my then partner at the time, we used to go up through Hill Street, up through Marine Parade, come down to Greenmount or Coolangatta Beach, and watch the fireworks on this side of the beach when it was 12 o'clock Queensland time. It was great. I loved it. It was like you celebrated New Year's Day twice in a row, and you literally only had to walk like maybe, I think it was like a kilometre at best. I'll show you. How far is it from here? Not even. It's like not even a kilometre. It's like 200 metres, 250 metres to the next, to like the next, to see the next Star Saving, the next New Year's Eve. It was great. I loved it. It was so cool. Anyways, that's pretty much Sydney for you. So let's move on now. If I jump out of that. Now, where's my Queensland one? Now, this one's going to be a little bit tricky because it's the way the Queensland government set this up. You've got to actually point and shape. So you can't just look at it and go, oh yeah, this is cool. And like we saw with New South Wales, you could actually select your maps. They had like a whole set of maps per year. Whereas this one, you've actually got to click on an area. I'll go back. I'll go back to search. No. I'll go back to pointer shape. And I'll go like this. So let's bring up Brisbane. Search. So this will take us back to 1960. Here we go. Pacific Highway and deviations. Let's see if that brings us any. Oh, no. That's going to bring us. No. I want Brisbane City. That's not Brisbane City. Hang on. No. So this is the hard part about using this is actually it doesn't give you what you actually want necessarily. Here we go. Frame 28 and frame 29. Let's see if it gives us what I want. Alright, so this is Brisbane City. Does it actually, would it allow me? No, it won't. It's not even going to allow me to do. Oh, it's not even going to allow me to do. Oh, that sucks. Oh, that sucks. Oh, that's dodgy. I hate that. Okay. Well, this is Brisbane City back in 1960. And you can see they've got the Victoria Bridge. Victoria Bridge, for those that don't know, Victoria Bridge is now no longer accessible by car. So you actually have to use a bus or your bike to cross that river now. Across that to go on that bridge now, which is really dodgy, really stupid, but it is what it is. I think this particular bridge that we're seeing now, this was actually replaced in 1969. You can actually see little ribs of the old. I'll show you the old Victoria Bridge. Victoria Bridge, Brisbane, 1960. Here we go. Give you some maps. I'll show you what I mean. This is what I was talking about. That is what you saw. The little ribs. This is a bit too old actually. This will be, yeah, here we go. That's what you see. That's what you're seeing in that over the top there. So yeah, so that's basically that's the old Victoria Bridge there. They replaced that in 1979. In fact, I'll bring up that this is the image that I was talking about. There's the old bridge, which is this one here. They replaced that with the new Victoria Bridge back in 1970. And the thing was, once they did that, they actually look. I'm going to throw my opinion in this one. I feel like they should have actually kept both bridges, but it is what it is. But I'll see if it shows me anything else other than that. Let's see if I can. No. Oh, here we go. I wonder if it shows me. No. Okay, so it needs to give me that. Give me that. There we go. Let's see if that gives. So you can see Pacific Highway actually went through here. The first lane. This is actually what I find fascinating. The first lane actually, the inbound lane was actually this way. Okay. So this was actually an outbound, just a solitary outbound lane. Oh, by itself. Oh, there you go. Okay. So there's your two lanes there, and that would have taken it into... Because that's Stanley Street, which is the original Pacific Highway back in the day. And you would have gone up through that way. Would have gone up through Stanley Street. Actually, I wonder if I can show you. If it'll let me show you. This is why I find this one a little bit complicated. That's why I find Brisbane's not as easy to show in terms of streets and stuff. Now recreated in city skylines. Shoddy, how you doing? Welcome on board. We are literally just nerding out on like the most nerdiest of nerdiest things, right? I'm just showing Brisbane at the moment. I was just saying Brisbane, the historical maps aren't as easy to navigate as Sydney. Sydney was really good. I could literally show you everything and anything in a fucking dead honestly. Oh, what happened? What happened? Actually, here we go. I'll pause this for a second. Let's have that conversation. Let's have a conversation. So what happened? Tell me about your day. What's happened? What happened? If you're comfortable, if you're not comfortable, tell me, and I won't. My weekend just started. Yimmy, how you doing? Welcome on board. Shoddy, mate. Yeah. So we're literally just like nerding the shit out of this stream. By the way, we're literally shout out to Yimmy. Yimmy, how you doing? Yeah. No, so basically, I'm absolutely just nerding. Also been looking for the start, just been in stealth mode. All good. I appreciate that. Thanks for that, Yimmy. Hope it wasn't too nerdy. It's very nerdy. It's very, like I said, it's ridiculously good to see you found the maps of the good country. Yes. The good country. I'll show you. Hang on. Let's bring it back. Here we go. I was just saying, I found the maps of Sydney. More nerds, please. More nerds, please. Close optional. Yeah. I'll drink to that one. Hang on, let me just take a drink. Sorry, my throat's absolutely parched. I spent like a whole hour, nearly 2 hours, like talking my head off. I was just saying, I found the imagery in Sydney a lot easier to work with than the imagery in Brisbane, which is, I don't know what it is, but I think it's just, I don't know. Look, I couldn't even find it. I literally struggled with imagery from Victoria. It was literally just like, oh, if you want to go here, you've got to speak to people at Melbourne University if you want the images, like the aerial images of Melbourne. I'm like, why would I want to do that? Why do I need to get a library card and get an account and do all that kind of stuff just to get imagery that should have been freely accessible? But anyway, Pineapple Bundy rum and mango Pepsi concoction mixed here. No. Well, this is just sad Powerade berry ice. There's nothing actually fascinating about it. It's just, that's what I do when I do streaming. I usually have like a big jug. I've got blackcurrant or I've got berry ice. Whichever one there you go. There's not much left of the berry ice, but we're almost on the way to to the blackcurrant. Alright, so this is Brizzy back in the day. I was just saying before, I was having a little bit of a rant, right? This is the old Victoria Bridge that used to connect Brisbane City to South Brisbane, right? In 1970, they built another bridge, right? They built this nice little fancy bridge, which was supposed to improve traffic because back in the day, this was only a 4-lane bridge. They built a little, I don't know if it's 6-lane, but it was like a much nicer, much bigger bridge, and it was easier to cope with floods. What they did recently, in the last 5 years, they actually took cars off the bridge, they closed it up, and now they've made this 4-lane bridge for buses only. And I'm just like, why? But anyway, I'm ranting. I'm like, why would you do that? Like now, the only options you've got are Captain, I'll show you, I'll jump all this off first. You've got Captain Cook Bridge. I'll show you. So this is another thing I don't like too. You've got to figure out where you've put your maps and how you turn them off. There we go. No? Where's the other one? Where did I put this one? This one's here. So now all you've got now is just this, and you got this, and you got this, and you got this. So look at that. That you can't go across that bridge anymore. That's frustrating. Anyways, I'm ranting and raving and carrying on. Let's see what I can give you. Hello! Thank you so much for the follow. How you doing? Welcome on board. I'll just double check. Yeah. All good. We were just ranting and raving about Brisbane. What else can I show you? Actually, I think I can show you. I'll try and see if I can show you this. Let's see if I can grabbing for what? It's on Kick. I'm also multi-streaming too, so I've got Kick, YouTube, and Twitch. So there's yes.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Nice. Well done, Yumi. Got him. Yeah, got him. What do I have that one? Do I have that? Oh, there you go. Yeah, you got it. Well done. Go grab him. These nice, Yumi. Actually, that deserves a shout out. We gotta do a shout out. Shout out for the Yumi, for the. I've been building one thing. Nuts. Oh man, we love you, Shadi. Well done. And now I'm dying now. Okay, let's get some old maps up. By the way, what else can I show you? I could show you. Let's go. Actually, that's a lot of maps that I. So this is one thing I don't like about this one. This one is you literally have to select a map. Whereas the one in Sydney, it's only bullying if it's unwelcome. Exactly. It's gonna melt this cold. No. What am I gonna show you? What can I show you? Brisbane 1958 is gonna be like, what the hell? Central Freeway. Would that work? No, that won't work. That's no. What I might do, hang on, 2 seconds. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm going to do. This is how annoying it is. You got to do this. It's really dumb. Okay, so I go, like that. I'm going to show you because this is actually, no. No, clear. I'll do it again. Hang on. I got this. Right? There we go. I want to show you this because there's a freeway that I want to show you. I know, I'm being nerdy. I told you, this is a nerdy stream. This is a nerdy... You're going to be looking at this going, oh my god, Matty. Okay, like, whoa, this is nerdy. This is nerdy stream. Here, stage 2 freeways. Here we go. No, that's not going to show me... That's not showing me shit. Oh, here we go. This is going to show me shit. Is it going to show me? No, that's not. That's not what I want to see. No, okay. Brisbane. Show outlines. Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah? What was that one? No? Yes. Show me. Here we go. This is my favorite. Here we go. The first part of the freeway from Brisbane CBD, you can see little parts of it too. You can actually see where they actually dug through the side of the riverside there to make the freeway happen. That's cool. That was cool. Back then it was called the Riverside Expressway. Now it went up through here, and back in the day, this was a two-way road, and that was also a two-way road, back in the day. So long story short, they built this big freeway to accommodate for the Pacific Highway. You can see the Pacific Highway coming up through here, the Logan five-way, the Wollongabba five-ways junction, and then Logan Road, which is essentially Pacific Highway, coming up through here. You got the freeway, the Pacific Motorway coming up through here. They call this the Southeastern Freeway, just for the record. And it literally stopped. And this is now what I understand, right? Back in the day, right? I'll show you what this is, right? I'll show you where this is. This is over here. Now, I need to show you this because this is actually quite fascinating for me. I've never understood when I lived in Brisbane, because I lived in Brisbane. For those who don't know, I lived in Brisbane from about 2015, 2016, and then came back again from 2017 to 2018. I could never understand why Cornwall Street and Juliet Street were one-way roads. I was like, why would you make two one-way roads? Why don't you just make them two regular roads? Why are you making these weird, complex roads? Now, it's because back in the day, when this freeway was being built, that's how you accommodated the traffic, right? Because the traffic went from, there's Logan Road, right? There's the Pacific Highway. Logan Road, your city-bound traffic would turn left here onto Juliet Street, and it would come back onto this freeway here that they've just built and go into the city. And then it would coming back, you'd go down this road here, down to Cornwall Street, and then turn right back onto the highway again. So basically, it was a bypass of Stones Creek. Is it Stones Creek? Is that Stones Corner? There you go, Stones Corner. A bypass of Stones Corner and Wollongabba. You can actually see, there's the Gabba for all your cricket heads over there, cricket lovers out there. There's your Wollongabba. There's your Gabba back in the day. I wonder if you can see Gabba in 1975. Let me see if I can bring up Brisbane City. Will this let me show outlines? Will this let me show you? Oh, yes, it will. Yes, it will. No, it won't. No, it won't. Oh, why would it not let me? Why would you not let me see that? Here we go. No? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so this is 1976, for those that are wondering. Only one cricket head. We don't know who. Gee, I wonder who that cricket head is. I wonder. Hang on, do I have it here? Oh, no. I wonder. Hang on. I can do this. Hang on, I can do this. I know what I'm doing. My uploads. Oh, come on, Matty. Is that half an hour later? Hang on. There you go. There we go. Why is it so blurry? Oh, that's one thing I hate about these images. And that's another thing I hate about these images too, is that you don't get them nice and crystal clear. With the ones in Sydney, you get them nice and clean. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. This is that extension I was talking about before, when they extended the freeway out. And it's blurry. It's blurry. You know what? It's been 2 hours. It's been 2 hours. We've had a nice rant about Sydney. We've had a nice rant about Brisbane. There's the Gabba, by the way. How good is that? Look how weird that is compared to now. That is not a nice little circle. I wonder if I can get... Hang on, let me see if I can get a better Brisbane. Without... Hang on, let me say... Show outlines. Oh, yeah, here we go. Where are you gonna take me? Take me here. Take me... Take me here, Daddy. As you can tell, I'm still getting over a cold. So I do apologize if I'm coughing and exploding. Yeah, look how weird that is. That's not a very good... It's not a very nice shaped oval. Which I find fascinating. Thanks for showing this side to me. Just feed the family home in... Oh, did I didn't dock you or anything like that, did I? I didn't accidentally dock... Okay, look, don't tell me. I'd rather... Yeah, but let me know if... No. Okay, good. I was worried that I thought, oh my god, I accidentally just doxed everybody. And this is what I find fascinating. You'd have to be 6 hours west. Oh, good. Okay, good. I'm happy with that. So, I found myself. Oh, good. Okay, I'm happy then. Okay, cool. So, does anyone from Queensland remember Expo 88? Or heard about it? Or know anything about it? By any chance? Probably not. It's probably totally outside of your... it's probably it's like ancient history for everybody. But this here was all... this was all actually demolished to make way for the Expo 88. And then once the Expo was finished, what they did is actually convert... I think from memory they converted it to the South Bank Parklands. So all that nice area... I'm thinking... No. I don't want to dox. I'm not going to dox anybody. I'm very strict about that. I'm like, I look after my community. No one doxes each other. If one doxes each other, man, that's it. Game moment. Buy the drink, cold shit. What? But then what happens then if you? How do you have another drink and talk shit again? If you do it once, that's it. If you kill someone, that's it. You can't have another drink and then talk shit again. Well, no, it's not. That's a bonus. That's no. This is inefficient. You want to have multiple drinks. You want to have multiple talking shit. No, this is inefficient. No. All right. As I was saying before, this area here was all industrial waste. It was not industrial waste. That's a bit mean. It was industrial area. It was very run. There was a lot of it that was run down, and there was a lot of it where there were a lot of crime, a lot of shady stuff going on there. From what I read, and I could be wrong. If you're a Queenslander and you think that's and you've been told differently, please tell me in the chat, please, because I could be completely inefficient. Morty, we're gonna go fucking go. Oh boy, he says. Oh dear. What have I started, Matty? What have I started? Oh boy. Okay, so this is 1983. So back in the day, there was no exhibition centre. There was no South Bank Parklands. There was no Streets Beach where people could go to the beach when they could actually just go drive down the Gold Coast. But they decided, no, I can't be bothered. I want to have a little beach here. Back in the day, it was all industrial areas. Now, that was 1983. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Oh, my favourite. Yes, please. Go, show me. Show me the money. Oh, no. Okay, that was not what I intended. But that's much clearer. Oh, that is beautiful. See that? There's your Pacific Highway. Up that way. There's your Riverside Expressway. And then, wow, they actually bulldozed quite a few of these places to make it work. There you go. And there's your... So that's what I was talking about before. There's your Stanley Street. So they got rid of Stanley Street to make this into a parkland. Stanley Street would have went through this way and then went up like that, and that was see that little stubbly point there? That part was the old bridge that went to. You can never see it there. It went the old Victoria Bridge. That is all bus only now. You can't actually go on there. I love how it's 1983 colour, hometown 91 black and white. Yes. Yeah. Consistency, right? You know, back in the 90s, right? We just decided abandoned colour. We're gonna go back to black and white, right? Absolutely, just absolutely. Yes, love that. Okay, so that was Expo site 1985. Let's see what that was doing in 1986. Here we go. Oh, wow. So they literally just demolished. Actually, pull that back for a sec. Oh, hang on. You think it's more shit town and budget and more appropriate, but yes. But like that's crazy. Like, I mean, I get that they were starting to pull buildings down. Like, this is 1985. And they're starting to pull buildings down. And they're literally starting to, like, de-industrialize this area and, like, make it into nice. You can actually see the Performing Arts Centre, too. That's actually quite nice. And the library as well, which is actually quite lovely. But you can see they're slowly pulling these parts down. They're slowly pulling up. By 1986, everything was just gone. There's a bit of an angle. I know they've got a really crappy angle on this one. Let me see if I can give you a better angle. Okay. No, apparently not. Let's just focus on this for a sec. Damn, they literally just ripped it apart. Like, literally just went smush with a tractor and just completely poleaxe the whole thing. That's crazy. Wow. Why did they do that? They just went kaboosh and just destroyed the whole thing. Let's see. Expo 86. Yeah, here we go. So now they're starting to build parts of the expo. Yeah, in this one. Let's see this one. There we go. And now you can see the expo starting to take shape. So this was 1987. I was born in this year. That's how old I am, by the way. I'm old. I am very ancient, by the way. And you can see the expo starting to take shape. There's the little monorail. Everyone can see that little white line there as it goes along. There's your monorail. Yeah. Nice little monorail, kids. Say it again. Monorail. Damn it. I was trying to do the monorail thing. Oh yeah, let me see if I can do it. Hang on. Monorail. I was trying to look up alerts. Here we go. Let's see if it works.
Please stand clear.
No, that's not what I wanted.
That's right, monorail.
Can you hear that? Okay, never mind. It only lasts on like 4 seconds, but anyway. It was basically monorail. Yeah, let's have a look at 1988. It's not going to show me 88, is it? Oh, you poopy in the poopy. You poopy in the butthole. How can you not show... Okay, fine. You know what? Point or shape. Let's do this again. Whee! There we go. Search. Alright, let's do this again. Let's see if that'll show me 1980... This is why I find the Sydney one. Look at I'll show you the Sydney one again for those who've missed it. Oh, okay, hang on. Let's do that again. It's alright. Okay. No. Oh, because I zoomed in. I forgot to zoom out. Hang on. Reset. Hang on. My bad. I'll do it again. Sorry. I zoomed in last time I said. But look, this is what I'm talking about. In Sydney, right, all your historical footage, right, all your historical imagery is all here. You can just go like this. You go, all right, let's go look at 1986. Boom. Big giant map of Sydney of 1986. Look how beautiful that is. You can see everything. You can even see when that road was there at the cathedral. That doesn't exist anymore, right? That's gone. You can even do this. Watch this. boom. No, yeah, go this one. And then boom, see? There, road gone. Road there, road gone. Road there, road gone. And you can see, and you can look at this. Hang on, I'll turn this off. Look at that. You can see so much of Sydney. When I go here to this Brisbane one, if I go back to Queensland one, I've got to go, which one would you like to select of the hundreds of different... I don't care. Just show me one. Show me one of the whole city. 1970... just... Bah. Okay. Locality... Let's say Brisbane. Let's go Brisbane. Brisbane. I can't even spell now. Alright, there you go. Cool. Search. Alright. Can you show me something from... Yeah, 2008. Here we go. 1988. Here we go. Expo. Okay. So, before I was really interrupted by this app that doesn't know what it's doing, I was doing this. Yeah? Yeah? Put all this together. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. That's better. Yeah? That's probably not the one I wanted, but anyway. Here we go. Here we go, kids. Here we go. Here we go. Ah, there we go. Oh, that's not very nicely put together. Oh, who put that together? All right. That's, oh, good gosh. Ooh. 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 Ooh, you know what? I'm going to stick with that one. And that one is... No, leave it. No? You got... Okay. There you go. There's your Expo 88. That is amazing. Shit, I didn't actually see that before. That is cool. But I mean, I'd still... Look, I'm going to be a nerd and say this, right? I'm going to say this, right? I'm not happy that they destroyed an entire road, right? That road that was up here, this, what do you call it? The Stanley Street, just to make that happen. I mean, look, it looks cool. I get it. It looks cool. I love it. It looks nice. But surely they could have incorporated that street, that Stanley Street, into there. Surely. Because the rest of the stream has been so unnerdy. I know, right? Well, I just thought to make it a bit more nerdy, right? Add the actual layers of nerdiness. We've gone from level 1 nerdiness, layer 1, layer 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're up to layer 6 and 7 of nerdiness here. But yeah, that is cool. That I find fascinating because I lived there from 2015 to 2016, I didn't see any of this. This is all different. This is all new to me. Like I've never seen this before. So that's 1988. I would have been only 1. Alright, that's crazy. Alright, let's see what we can do with... Now, we saw... What is that going to show me? Are you going to show me outlines on that one? No? Where are... Yeah, that's definitely not what we want to see. No, you're not there. Alright, show me outlines. Good enough. Okay, that's fine. Whatever, let's have a look. Oh, here we go. 904. Is that going to show me what I want to see? Is that going to show me what I want to see? Yes, it is. Oh, here we go. Okay. Still I'm looking at arrow images like with the clusterfuck of life last year. It's going away from me. Wow. Mum had to move 7 hours away. Me, about 300 meters or so. Huh. Wow, that's life, man. That's interesting. So if you don't mind me asking, like, you're still like is this little area, is it? Is Brisbane sort of your... Now, let me know if it's a little bit too close to home and I'll back it off a little bit, but yeah. Why is it so grainy? Oh, well, Matty, that's enough for the night. You're like, alright, that's enough nerdiness for me for now. I'm done. I can't do this. Alright, alright, look, we're past the 2-hour mark. I'm glad I've been able to nerd the fight and to basically nerd the shit out of this stream for the past 2 hours. But what I might do, look, first and foremost, take care, Yumi. Look after yourself. Be safe. I'll see you next time. Shotty, 6 hours west. Ah, gotcha. Yeah, that's fair. Alright, that's cool. Good. What else was I going to say? I was going to say, that pretty much sums up what we're going to do. Oh, there we go. It's not really much. You can't actually see anything out of there. That's really dodgy. That is so dodgy. I would have liked to have seen a bit more. Would have liked to have had a bit more clarity on that one. But anyway, maybe that one would that give me clarity? No, it won't. None of these will. That's devastating. Alright. So, with that being said, that concludes the formal part of what I wanted to show you guys was just that. Was basically just that for now. Otherwise, I've got a whole hour that we can just hang out, do whatever. Are we allowed to watch Nerdball, please? Nerdball, look, well, maybe I can show you. Maybe I can show you, Gold Coast. Can I show you Gold Coast? Let's have a look. Can I? I'll bring up the, sorry. Screen time. Can we do it? He wonders. Let's bring up Coolangatta again. Let's see if I can do Coolangatta. Hang on, See, I've got to go through this process again. I've got to point. I've got to do a shape. I've got to do this. Search. Yes. Here we go, 90. Oh, here we go. This is probably going to give me more information than that. Oh, good God, that's a lot of maps. All right, let's have a look. Run 1. What's that going to give me? No, that's. Is that going to give me what I want? No. Oh my God, there's so many of them. Choose this one. No? Did I choose it? There we go. Look at that. Here we go. What's your name? Asking for a friend. Wait, what? What's his name again? I couldn't tell. Wait, what? What's my name? What's his name, guys? What's his name again? I couldn't tell. In the stream overlay. So I'm still processing this. Why did that take me so long to process that? Oh, this thing here, this thing there, that one. Matty J. Paddy. Yeah. Oh dear. And I told you I was slow, man. You still haven't answered the question. What's your name? Matty J. Paddy, I told you. That is my name, Matty J. Paddy. It's literally... Oh, my God. Going to go with Marcel. Okay. Alright, you know what? It's Marcel. Yeah, it is Marcel. There you go. It's Marcel. It's Marcel for the stream. There you go. If you're good, if you're kind enough and nice enough, I'll tell you the secret at the end of the stream. Alright. So, what is this? This is... Okay. No, that's fine. I'm going to show you here. No, I can't show you there because that's not what... No. That's not what I want. Yes. That's what I want to see. Okay. Remember how I was talking about... Okay, so earlier before I was talking about that roundabout, yeah? How there's like a intersection and then it turned into a roundabout. I want to know, when did they make that into a roundabout? I want to see. I'm going to look at that. I'm going to go, right, I want to know exactly... No, screw that. Exactly when... I can't actually see. When they decided to make that into a roundabout. I want to know. I just want to know. Because if I don't know, it's going to burn my soul not knowing. Oh, come on. Oh, yes. Tell me. Okay. So it's not 95. It was sometime in the 2000s. Come on. Okay. Oh, wait. Load it. Alright, never mind. Rest well, nerd. Alright, take care, Gibby. Much appreciated, man. Take care, look after yourself, be safe, have a good one. Where am I doing? Where did the... Hang on. Here we go. So why did the... So where's the round? I need to know this now. Now I need to know. I've become restless now. I've got to the point where I'm like, I need to know now. Point or shape? I need to know, when did that become a roundabout? Point there. Search it. I need to know, because that's a roundabout. Before the 2000s, that was not a roundabout. I need to know now. I have to know. I have to know this. I have to know this. This is like irking me now. I just start. If I don't know this, I'm gonna be. Okay, so what's that? 2006. Okay, that's great, but that's like 10 years difference between 97 and 2000. Tell me. That's not tell me. That's not even. Okay, I'm actually annoyed. We got some error footage done with high games. There's no sharp. They don't show up in the list. Oh, dude. That's 2001. So where's? Okay. Hang on. I need to find this map. I'm. Here we go. So 1999. So it must have been 2000 then. So I'm looking at going. So where's it? Where is it? No. Okay. So that's 99. So where's 2000? Give me 2000. So where is? Okay. So that's May. September. Let's say December. December. So between December, that's not helpful. That is not helpful. Not really helpful. Actually, so December 1999. So sometime. Yes. Oh God, that is awful. What is that? Actually, 2011 floods. Actually, can we get some? Actually, can we? Is that gonna be good? Please be good. Okay, you know what? Yeah, fine, Mr. Aerial Footage Photographer guy who took that picture back in 2000 and 1999. Fine. We'll never know when that roundabout was built. We will never know. We're gonna live our lives not knowing when that bridge was built. You know what? I don't care. I'm not even jealous. I'm not even angry. I'm just disappointed. The official Matty J. Paddy voice of a face of disappointment. It's like to go 160p. 160p. That's just why? Why would you do that? Why? Why do people do that? Why do they do these things for? It hurts the soul. Actually, what else can I show you? I think I'm gonna probably wrap it up soon. Anyway, I've been talking and coughing and splurting for so long. Or actually, I can show you Toowoomba. Why? Because I actually. Oh, shit, net for a decade. Sheesh, mate. Yeah, that's rough. Oh, look, I've got good internet, right? I've got like 100 megabits per second, right? Which is reasonably fine, right? It does the job in terms of playing, downloading and doing all that kind of stuff. But when I come to my parents' place, they've got half the speed, and I'm like, I'd be sitting there like trying to I can't download any games because it literally will take like 5 hours to download. So I just literally just go, I can't do this. I don't want it today. Point of shape. Point. Toowoomba. But yeah, Toowoomba where everyone has. Hey, to be fair, I lived in Toowoomba. I mean, okay, I lived only there for like a year, but still, I like to pretend that I am a full-blood breaded Toowoombanite, even though I literally, like I said, I only spent 12 months there. 1993. That is fascinating. Oh yes, this fascinates me. All right, the Toowoomba crossing always fascinates me to no end. I love learning about this because there you go. If I go like that. Let's show me. Yes. Okay. So that's the original crossing. See, I came in 2015, right? And when I came, right? when I arrived at 2015, good God, fun fact. If you go on Northwest Boys, they're oh, cool. Ha, nice. Oh, there you go. So that's awesome. That's like, hey, no, that's like Crow's Nest, isn't that? Hey, that's cool. Ayo. That's cool. When I arrived in 2015, this was all the original. I'll show you this is what I'm talking about. Actually, no, that's not it. Where am I going? Here. This was all like brand new. Like this was all like even now. Look at that. You can see that's all starting to grow. That was nothing. That was like bare open area. Like back in the day. Back in the day when I first arrived here. Let's have a look. I'll show you. 2015. That's November. That's even earlier than that. I want to show you that. That's what I saw, right? That's what I saw. Was all of this was all brand new. I was like, why is this brand new? Like, what's that? And what's this road here? Like, I noticed that there's a little road here that was cut off when they built this road. I'm no joking to Sea of Thieves. Nice. I'm gonna give you a shout out for that one. Oh, hang on. Dex, hang on. Dex. Thank you for the follow. How you doing, by the way? Alrighty. What am I doing? I'm gonna show you. So that I never understood why that was there. I was like, why is that there? Well, man, it was a fun ride. And that's something too. Like, it looks so cool. I go back to here. I never knew about any of this at all. I've never seen this. This is all like foreign to me. Like, I looked at that. I was like, wow. Like, that is so crazy. Like, that looks so steep and dangerous and crazy compared to when I see this. And it's like brand new and like that. Wow. See, that's cool. I never knew any of that existed. Like, that would have been so cool back in the day. I remember, I remember though, because this is back in the day before I had the Kia. I had an old Ford Falcon. It was like, by that stage, I was like 7 years old by then. I remember trying to get up that mountain. I remember the 4,000 revs. It was just high revving trying to get up there. That's the previous one. You see a truck coming down. You started praying or pissing or both. Oh, sheesh. Oh yeah, because that's another thing too. Like, if a Ford made it up there, but I tell you, that Ford survived a hell of a lot, man. I bought that Ford. Actually, can I show you? Let me see if I've got the. Let me see if I've got the old boy on my phone. I think I do. It's like back in the day. This is back in the day from 2019 when I. Do I still have it? Because I had it from 2013 to 2020. In 2020, I had it when it was 89,000 Ks, and then I dropped it off. I basically sold it for about 500, like literally only about $500, and it had 320,000 Ks on it. So I went from 89,000 Ks. If I remember correctly, the new road has a less steep. Yes, it does. Yeah, that's right. It has a less steep angle. The latest state, which is this one here. Yeah, much. Look, so the trees are not. So that's all nice and like I've never seen any of this before. When I was there, this is what I saw. Right from this was like little like barely open scrublands, and then to about maybe this when I came back to Brisbane and came back again. That's all I saw. This is like now when I go back to 2024, that's getting bushy now. It's like, whoa, dude, it's getting back to bushy now. I've never seen it this bushy before. Like this is what I know of bushy. Like that. That's all I've seen. That is crazy. That's in 10 years, man. Time just goes so fast, man. That's freaky. And before you know it, that's all gonna go back to bushland again. The fuck, this is a Toowoomba? Like, what? This isn't a Toowoomba. Oh, this isn't the Toowoomba I remember. This is not the Toowoomba. I'll tell you, like, this is not the Toowoomba I remember, right? Back in the day, we're gonna go back to here, right? Before, when I came up, right, this thing here, this big monstrosity, this beautiful. I actually went there a couple of years ago. It's actually quite nice, but when I lived there, right, this was not there. This was what it was back in 2015. Was this? Literally, you couldn't go through this road. It was literally just construction, and the only way you could get to the shops was here. That was the only shops that were available. This Don't know what the hell was going on here. It was just construction. Now, look at that. Big. It's like Chermside, High Point, Westfield Parramatta, all in one big conglomerate mush. That's just crazy. My dad and I went there the other way. It's so weird. It's not even the Toowoomba I remember it anymore. Like it's like I know it's been 10 years. Fuck, that's scary. I'm like, it's been 10 years since I was last there, but like, I'm like, wow, like, it's so different to what it is now. Like, I don't even remember, like, I don't even recognize this area. I don't recognize that. Suncorp, that's changed. I remember down here, that was abandoned. I remember when that was abandoned. Hang on, let me see if I can see it. Yeah, it was Westpac. Oh, it was Westpac. That's right. Westpac closed. That's right. Here we go. And it was abandoned. And now there's like a big bar and bistro on top of it. Where was this bar and bistro when I was there? There were two different shopping centers on the side of that road. The one on the left, one out the right. Yes, that's right. It was Garden Town. I remember because I did a little bit of research when I came up here, and I remember a lot of people were talking about Garden Town, which was that was Garden Town, and that was Grand Central, and this part here didn't even exist. It was just like some little apartment, like little buildings or something. And then for some reason, I think was it Garden? Do you remember? It was a Garden. Food street stores were basically at your optometry. Huh? That's cool, eh? Shotty, do you remember why they shut down Garden Town? Do you remember what was the story with that? Why did they shut it down? Because I remember they heard that they said they went into redundancy, or they went into insolvency or something like that, and then Grand Central took it over and just completely just sucked it up and ate it and just became one big Grand Central. Do you remember? Yeah, Garden Town. Was this popular? What was that? Did they say why? What was it? Was it just not enough stuff? Grand Central ate it. Pretty much. Grand Central just took it over. I noticed that Grand Central hasn't updated, they haven't renovated Grand Central yet. They haven't redeveloped it ever since they took it over. But yeah, did I say why Garden Town didn't succeed? Because it's a pretty good location. Like, you're literally, there's just the city centre there, and you got your Heritage Bank, which is like the tallest building in all of Toowoomba, and it's actually pretty cool. I actually like that. That's actually, I know it's very 80s, but I like that style. It's like, you look at it, you just think of like an 80s rock song coming out when you see that. No clue, not a local, but every time we went to the city, we'd go to Garden Town, it wasn't as busy. Okay, that makes sense. I mean, I guess having said that, I guess Grand Central was the big city, or the big thing, was like the in thing back in the day. And that's the thing, if you went to, even though they changed the colour scheme, that's, why do you do that? Oh, I remember this. Hang on, if I go to here, there was an entrance point here. Yeah, that's right, there was an entry point here. I remember that. So did they close that off? Oh, you mother fricker. I remember that was how you got into the shops as well. Boo. That's so insulting. I feel insulted now. Let's go back to the historical map. I want to see. What was this? This is 1993. Good gosh. Oh, okay. That's the parking. That's right. That's the parking lot for. Oh my gosh. Wow. And then why? Yeah. Wow. Oh, because it's starting to make sense now. Okay, now I'm getting to understand why. So that must have been Maya on its own there, and Maya and like a few shops there, and that was Garden Town. That might have been the big shopping centre back in the day, and I'm guessing when Grand Central opened up, Garden Town must have gone kablut because you've just like sucked out all the energy out of it, and then Garden Town just turned around and went sucked in Garden Town. That's cool. That's fascinating. I wonder if it doesn't show you all the one-way streets. That's one thing I will say. I got annoyed about when I was living in Toowoomba was the one-way streets. I hated that. I was just like, no, why? Why would you just, I hated it. Like, because you had to go through Russell Street was, I remember it now, Victoria Street was was on the west side and you went north. And Russell was from the north, but it went from west to east. And then Neil Street was east side, went from north to south. And then you had, I think it was Harry's Road. I think. I've got to remember now. Hang on, let me have a look. I've got to try and remember this now. Hang on. It was. Yeah, Victoria Street was one way. And then Russell Street was one way. And you went like that. It was like a weird sort of turn. And then Russell, and then Neil. And then I think it was, I don't think Harry's was just two ways anyway. But it was like Victoria and Neil were like one-way streets. Here we go. So story time, episode 5. Had to get 2 teeth taken out for my braces. Got into the city an hour or so earlier than my appointment. Went window shopping in Maya. Found a Lego crane that was on special. Wow. To $200. Woo. Called Dad. Decided to go halves. Bought it. Had 2 teeth ripped out. And spent $4. Wow. Ooh. Ooh, that would have been painful. Oh, look, was if you don't mind me asking, was it general, or did they just go get in and rip it out? Like, good gosh, I had my wisdom teeth taken out, and I had 2 of the bottom teeth removed as well, and they did it all through GA, and I remember like I just would not eat anything. I was like, I might be like I'd have like soup. And I would just let it like sit on the tongue and just like numb the fuck out of it. Consciously you talked. I had to be like I had GA because I general anesthesia because I just went nah. There's no way I would have sat through the cracking and because I've seen videos on it where they like crack the tooth and stuff. It's like crack the tooth out of the bonus. It's like just I would have just freaked out. But sheesh. But yeah, no look Yeah, no. I remember when I had my tooth out, they just like I'd have like a spoon of soup, and I would just put it on my tongue, and I would just like let it dribble back into my throat. I was like that. I laugh about it now, but back in the day, I was like trying not to trying not to bite, trying not to suckle, because I remember they said if you suckle on it, you can get dry root because you're trying to let the blood clot seal the wound, and so. Is that great? Oh yes. Yeah, show me the crane. That'd be cool. The Lego crane. Cause that'd be awesome. Well, show me the crane. Once you show me the crane, we'll wrap it up and we'll start rating someone. But yeah, that's cool. I'm just fascinated by it. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much all I had for you folks in terms of like nerding out and doing weird sort of showing you all the nerdiest of nerdiest things. Actually, do you have my Discord? Actually, while I'm here, I'm gonna throw this in there. No, actually, I can do this shorthand. There you go. There you go. So throw it in the Discord because I wanna have a look at this. This is actually really cool. Yeah, so I just wanted to just show the nerdy side of Matty. This is what I just go into my element when I talk about like roads and stuff like that and old maps from the past. And it's good because I'm posting in Yims. That's alright. Alright, I'll have a look at Yims. Hang on. Where have I put it? Good gosh, I've got everything so disorganized here. Here we go. Game suggestions. No? Here we go. Oh, wow. Holy shit. That's massive. $400. Yeah, that's worth $400. That's a $400 thing. Damn. How big is that? How big is that thing? That looks like it's at least like 60 maybe 70 centimeters. Hey, that's like big. Sits above my main monitor. Ooh, that's big. Well, how big's your monitor? It's like what you got, like a 28-inch monitor? That's big. That's big. That's a big chunky boy. That's a big chunky boy. 32. Oh, hang on. Let me convert this. Hang on. Let's see. 32 inches. 2 centimeters. Damn. That's big. No wonder it was like $400. Yeah, that's big. That's big. Damn, boy. Damn, bro. That's massive. That's massive. That is massive. Let me know if you don't. Damn, you got me too. You got me. I love that. I just love it. Just perfect. I'm gonna put a love heart to it. I have to. There we go. Official Matty Patty seal of approval. Done and done. Got him. Wait, do I have that? Do I have that in here? Do I have that? Please tell me I have that.
Enemy spotted.
Nah, that's not it. Nah, I haven't got him. Boo. Damn. I will find that. I'm gonna find the soundbite for that, and I'm gonna put it in there. Definitely. All right. My throat's starting to get parched now, so I'm like a little bit exhausted. But thank you everybody for coming along and to enjoy even just having a chat, marking around, having a bit of fun. I'll try and do this a little bit more often. I will try and do maybe not so much the nerdy part, but definitely just having a chat and just like aimlessly just like throwing stuff around. And every spot it reminds my life. Oh boy. But yeah, I appreciate everybody for coming along. Thanks for putting up with Matty being the nerdy nerd that he is, and just showing the history of like the different towns and that. Always down to talk shit and double up on the nerd shit. Yes, love it, absolutely love it. Let's do a raid. Look, I'm gonna do a raid, and then wrap it up. But does anyone else have anything they want to chat about? Like, speak now, because otherwise I will do a raid. If everyone is chill with that. Because my throat's starting to feel yeah, I can feel my throat like starting to get old and rusty. Let's see. Actually, can we give our dear friend? Okay, I've got an idea for what to raid. Tanner Grace. Does anyone was almost going to suggest seeing Grandma's house? If you're comfortable, excuse me. If you're comfortable with me putting that on stream, then yeah, we can do that if you want. Like I said, I'm just mindful of not trying to. I don't want to dox people. Even if you're like, oh, I don't really care, but just like I'm very careful about that. Like I don't like doxing. I don't like people putting too much personal information about people online, because there are some really bad people out there, and I was just not a fan of it. But yeah, if you're comfortable with it, let me know, and we can have a quick look before we wrap up stream. Oh look, it is the Gabba. Look how nice and circular it is compared to. Can we go back? Actually, no, I don't think we've got it. No, we don't have it. Sorry. No. Okay, but look how nice and circular it is compared to what it was back in the. How weird shape that was. The other one. And the Cross River Rail, the rail that won't get completed until 10 years from now. But anyway, sorry, I spoke too soon there. And I know this sort of area. I'm familiar with that area. I'm familiar with that area too. Familiar with that area. All of that. Even Toowong. Actually, can we see? What's here now? This used to be where I used to work. There you go. The Westie Market. That's not it. That's not it. That's not it. I don't work. That's not where I worked. But it was back in the day. It used to be an orthotics clinic, and now it's gone. Oh, that sucks. That's actually really sad. I miss this area now. I'm like looking at. I remember going to Toowong Village. That was cool. And let's see, they're still there. Oh yeah, the villas are still there. That's good. Yeah. Yeah. Let me know. Let me know if you want me to look at it. If you're comfortable with it, like I said, it is. Like I said, it is. It can't. It's. I guess it's along the lines of personal-ish information. If you're not comfortable with it, let me know. But yeah, Toowong, and then Dutton Park. Oh, they're still there. Yeah. Children's Queensland Clinic. Oh, okay. Didn't know that. Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go. Huh. There you go. I've been there. I've been to the Mater. I've been to the Mater Private. I haven't been to Princess Alexandra before. That's the first one. I've been to Greenslopes. Hospitals. There you go. And I've been to Queen Elizabeth. For work. Crow's Nest. Oh, yeah. Oh, for work. Yeah, for work. Yeah, for work. Yeah, I was just saying, to the hospitals for work. Like, I used to, back in the day, I used to be a prosthetist orthotist. So, like, making, like, fake legs and arm braces and stuff like that. So, we used to do, like, call-outs to some of the hospitals there. So, we went to, when I was living in Brisbane, I did some call-outs up in the Mater Private. Back then, it was called the Lady Salento. I think it's called the Queensland Children's Hospital now. I did some of that there. I did some at... what was the other place I did it at? I did it at... Greenslopes Hospital. And I think we did one at the Royal Brisbane and Women's. RBWH. I think. But anyways. Alright. So, Crow's Nest. By the way, if anyone actually still lives there now, I do apologise if I hope I don't dox anybody living there. No, I've got to remember now. This is the Nego, so we've gone too far. So, there we go. Fun fact: most of the day, most prosthetics, least developed medical product. Look, I'm streaming, so I can't really say how I really feel about it, but I will say it's an interesting industry. But it's all over the map for work. Okay, all good. Yeah, look, I will say it's interesting, the industry. I'm currently still, technically was a member, was a current professional. As of right now, I'm not, and I don't think I will actually continue my professional development membership with the industry for reasons, and I'll just leave it at that. I don't want to start causing problems, but yeah, bottom left side of town, yeah. Oh, bottom left. Oh, right. Right or left? I had it right the first time. What was I doing? Okay. And it's like, there you go. Don't worry, I got it confused too. We both got it confused. Don't worry. That's both of us at least. Hey. Hopefully, in the next couple of weeks, I'll be able to cough out this horrible cough. Until then, you're gonna hear me coughing and spluttering. Okay, what are we doing? Where am I? Okay, that's 3. What did we say it was again? 21. Okay, so that's 5. So if I go this way, I'm gonna get this. Hang on, I'm gonna get this. No, what are we doing? What? Why are you going backwards? Go. Okay, so that's 1. Wait, if that's 1, where's the... what am I doing? You first dropped. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. Look, like, I like this area. Look, to be honest, I like... This gives me almost like Malmesbury feels. I'll show you what Malmesbury looks like. I don't live in Malmesbury, just for the record, but I do know what Malmesbury looks like. I'll show you. This is the kind of vibes I felt when I saw that. I was like, it felt like this. I could be completely wrong, but no, that's not the vibe I got. Sorry, that's not it. Sort of a little bit like this, that kind of vibe, that sort of country vibe. But this is I know this is more like, hard to say. It's like it's not as nice. It doesn't look as nice in this actually. This is actually pretty, oof. But if I go back and I go whoosh 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 whoosh, I do like Crow's Nest though. Like I do find, to be honest, I find Crow's Nest. I find this area here, out before the range. Yeah, big pine tree too. Yeah, exactly. And I find this side of the range, I find is nice. The west side. As soon as you drop down, I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know if anyone else feels it too. But when I drop down the range, especially during like autumn and like spring, I find that you go from this nice sort of easygoing weather, and as soon as you get to around about here, that's when I feel the humidity. I don't know if is it just me, or is it just, or does other people feel that too? Like as soon as you get off the mountain range, if you get off the Toowoomba range, when you get to Whitgift, do you get that? Do you get the humidity, or is it just me? I literally find it that as soon as I get dropped down the mountain range, I get like a little foggy area, and then suddenly as I say to most people, it's a big fuck off mountain range. The weather changes dramatically. Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Like you literally feel it. You go from nice, kind of calm. It's not quite Bendigo weather. It's like more. It's like slightly a little bit warmer than Bendigo, but it's nice. But it's nice. It's calm. It's not as humid. And then when you go down the mountain range, you feel it. You feel the humidity, and you can just feel. It's not hot, but it's like a sticky humid weather. I don't know. I found that every time I went down the mountain range, that was it just was like, wow. Like the difference in temperature and the climate was just so was so pronounced. It was just like, what is this? But anyway, I digress. All right, I'm keen to do the raid. I reckon. How does everyone feel about Tana Grace? She's currently playing League of Legends. What does everyone else think? Unless you got a suggestion. Right? People out here in the West, mostly newcomers, freak out when there's a cyclone on the coast, especially when it swings around inland. They're all freaking out at work B. The Great Dividing Range will take most of it out. If you're there. That's true, and that's the thing, because you've got that big, massive, Great Dividing Range that separates the sort of like the humid east coast. Yeah, you literally you might get like a couple of cyclones and whatnot, and bad weather, but as soon as it gets to the rain, with the exception of the rain, I found the rain was heavy. Whether that's Brisbane or Toowoomba. I found the rain was a lot heavier. Whereas here you'll get like 40 plus was my vote. Oh. Look, was my, oh, you mean the streamer? Sorry, yeah. 40 plus S. Let's do the raid actually. What are they playing? Okay, I guess mute. Alright, you know what? Let's give them a raid. What do they play? They're playing DayZ. I've seen that a few times. I'll do a raid and lurk, and we'll do that. How does that sound? But yeah, to respond to what you were saying before, yeah, look, I found it, except for the rain was a lot, the rain's a lot heavier in Toowoomba than it does in Bendigo, but good. It sounds good. He's a chill dude. Yeah. Alright, look, we'll do it. Let's do the raid. Alright. Actually, let's do it. Can I do it this way? Yeah, let's do the raid. And who we're raiding? We're raiding 40 plus S. Alright. Let's do this. I'll bring it back to the chat screen. Here we go. Oh, all right, folks. Thank you so much for coming along and stopping by and watching Matty be a nerd, and I mean a nerd in the most strictest sense of the term, nerd. We're gonna go. We might be streaming tomorrow. I'm not sure what time. Probably about. I'm gonna say 8:30 just to be safe. And we'll probably we'll go do it again. He's totally good. Oh, fantastic! I love it. We'll probably. I want to do. Actually, still want to finish off. Death Stranding before I do anything else. So I'm gonna do that. Once we finish off Death Stranding, then we can decide whether we want to play another game or have another bit more of a chat, and then move to the next game. 2 days after I might be open for Tom Fogger as well. Oh, good. Oh, good. There you go. I'm free. I'm available. I've got my placements coming up in the next couple of weeks, so I'll let you know what's happening with that. I'll let you know what's happening with my schedule in the Discord. Always check out the Discord for anything, whether that's schedules, stuff I put online, anything I find interesting, nerdy shit, you name it, I throw it in there. I've even got a rant about my whole the history of roads and stuff. Love it. It's great. Jump on the Discord. Otherwise, folks, we're going to do a raid for those on Twitch. Those outside of Twitch, this is where we say take care, look after yourselves, be safe. We'll see you tomorrow-ish. I'll let you know if it's not going to happen, but I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. It's about 90% chance it's going to happen. All right? Otherwise, take care, be safe, have a good one. What have I done here? Here we go. Yeah, okay, good. All right. Take care, folks. Catch you later. Thank you for putting up with Matty being a nerd. All the best. Catch you later, folks. Bye-bye.